So, we're here. We have fought off the server domes. Audio has been corrected. We only had to rebuild everything. And thankfully, we have some really talented people here with us, but also supporting some of our technical backend today. All of that aside, my name is Alan Patrick. I am part of the D&D Adventurers League, and welcome to the very first episode of Fistful of Platinum. We're going to be using the Platinum Edition of Waterdeep Dragon Heist, as given to us by Beetle and Grimm. We're going to get into some fairly crazy shenanigans. My players have all built out backstories. What I do want to say is that we're not going to do a full exploration of what's in the box today. You'll have to join us next week to see a little bit more of that. And the reason for that is that all of my players are already at the table, and there are some spoilery things inside. I have already done an unboxing video. You can find it elsewhere on YouTube if you scout around. But we're going to leave some things to the imagination here for this week. And I'm going to get this great big box out of the way, along with the very fine petrified aboleth eye on the front. And I'm going to turn this over to my players. So, who are we? What do we do? Who wants to start?
We are players and
We
have
are
problems. Oh, sorry, our characters, right. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll start,
Sure.
I guess, if that's all right.
Yep.
I am Michael Konis. I am one of the owners of Dogmite Games. I am very excited to be playing Otter Thrud. He's a Goliath cleric. He's got the Tempest domain. He prays to Aminator, but he doesn't fully understand why that is.
Mm-hmm.
He was born on a cold prison floor to a mother guilty of murder. He has 9 older brothers.
Mm-hmm. That's a big family full of
Yeah,
It is.
that's a lot.
Holy
Big,
cow.
literally and figuratively.
Yes.
I'm Lindsay Rode. I am the creative director here at Dogmite Games. And I will be playing Agnes Copper, who is a daughter that works on a designer sheep farm. But she recently found a secret compartment in her grandmother's old room that held a secret journal full of thieves' cant, a sword, and other cool things. Other cool things she found in that box.
And a cookie.
So she's gone to Waterdeep to find Otter, who she grew up with, and to figure out more about her past, her family's past. Her past is full of designer sheep.
Sheep, to specify it was sheep.
Yes.
My
Very
name's,
important.
Oh, yeah. My name is Jesse Swinton, and I own Siege Games in Howell, Michigan. And I will be participating on the Fistful of Platinum stream playing Marcellus, the fabulous Tiefling Warlock. He's here. He's excited, and he knows you are all excited as well because he's here, because he's great. Basically, he's shooting for the stars. He wants to hit with the big boys, and he wants to work his way up into the nobility, or at least, you know, pretend to. Sort of like do the rich things. So that's kind of what he's here for, fun and games, and he's excited that you're all here to support him on his mission.
We're here for you.
You are, yes. So yeah, that's me. That's that. And then now's you.
I'm Trisha Kozlowski. I'll be playing as Magpie. I'm a gnome bard. I just had the troop breakup, so I guess I'm an adventurer now. The only person I have in the world is my rat Picklewitz, who I lost a little bit earlier, so you might want to keep all your change in your pockets. Maybe he'll turn up later.
He was earlier.
He's a good rat. No worries.
So the rat's name is Picklewitz?
Picklewitz.
Picklewitz. I like it.
Picklewitz.
Right on.
Picklewitz is now the best character in this campaign.
That's all I care about now.
Possibly the only one
So
to live.
much. He's got a
The
top
only
hat.
one to live, he says.
I'm Jen Patrick. I'm playing Astrid, the half-orc fighter. Not really smart enough to have any sort of drive or ambition, but my best friend the cow has some, so I'm gonna go with him.
Marcellus, his tiefling colors are he's like an ivory and black splotchy sort of pattern, and so I guess Astrid views him as her cow friend, and he likes anybody that gives him attention. So
I go with my cow friend.
Yes. So, as we dive in here, a couple of things that I want to share with everybody. We are going to be running this as an Adventurers League game. So we're going to be using the D&D AL rules, the player's guide, the DM's guide, all the stuff the campaign staff has put together. It's not really a big difference from how you might run this game at home. We'll be going over at the end of each game, like how to apply rewards, and we'll show a log sheet. how that stuff gets tracked and carries over, how magic items are affected. There's not a ton of changes, but it is worth talking about. And the reason I mention that is that we have here at the table some pretty wildly different levels of experience with D&D. So, I mean, I'm part of the global the campaign staff. I've been doing it for a little bit. Do you want to maybe share a little bit about how long you guys have all been in it?
I played a little bit in high school. That was like, I don't know, 20-some years ago. I made it to Alan's house for a couple of Thursdays for a few games since then.
You're like, they put some dice in my hand this morning, and we're like, hey, you're playing D&D.
And we're going to figure this out as we go. It's cool. I got help on either side, all around.
Is that what you think I help?
On this side?
Yes, yeah. Wheel that way.
We'll figure it out.
What about you guys?
I've been playing for decades, basically. Semi-familiar with 5th edition. Ran it a little bit and played in some. We game a lot together, so yeah.
We game a lot together, but I don't actually have that much experience with D&D. I'm actually a huge fan of Dread. I play that system a lot, so this is my first time doing a little bit more in-depth, or at least not the first time, but I definitely don't have as much experience. So the questions will come from this end of the table.
Well, I do lots of D&D things because I own a game store, and the biggest thing we do is D&D. But my full lifelong, I've actually only been playing D&D for about 2 years because back when the regional coordinators, the local coordinators were a thing for Adventurers League, we had a nice man come in named Aaron, and he introduced me to the magical world of Dungeons and Dragons and helped me get it going at the store and taught me to play. So that's sort of my experience.
I've been around D&D for about 18 years, but I just made fun of him for playing things with funny dice.
It's true.
That's how it always starts.
Maybe the first 11 or 12, and then I just gave up. So
yeah,
it was begrudging at first, and now you're part of it.
Now it's an addiction.
Exactly. So, like I said, we're going to run this as an AL game. We're also going to run this sort of like we were playing at home, right? Just forget the cameras and the lights and stuff. I understand you've got lives outside of all of this stuff. We're all adults with other things going on. If you need to excuse yourself for a minute, by all means, go. You do you. The story will still be here. Theoretically, Waterdeep will still be here. Depends on what the rat has gotten up to, I suppose.
Group
He's his own rat.
Says now, so time to go.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and get this show on the road. What do you say? Waterdeep. It is one of the biggest cities in all the Forgotten Realms. It's it's a huge point of civilization on the Sword Coast, so the western coast of Faerun in the Forgotten Realms. As we see on the map that is out here on the table. Sorry for you folks at home if you can't see it, but
it's a really nice map.
Yeah, the Beetling Grimbox does send us a very large canvas map with all the districts and all the wards laid out. You can see all the streets, all the names, all that sort of stuff. Let's take a couple of minutes here and just sort of establish what maybe the first thing or two you did when you got into the city. Ultimately, we're gonna all end up at the Yawning Portal. The Yawning Portal is it's a destination for people that come to Waterdeep. It's a world. It's known the world over. It's a tavern that has a huge open portal, an open well essentially, that leads into the complex called Undermountain. So adventurers from all over the world like to come here, share stories, dare each other to go and descend into the well and go into the big dungeon underground. Sometimes awesome things happen. Sometimes you have questionable drinks and find out that the Zentarum marked you for something. Who knows? But let's take a couple of minutes to figure out what are some of the things you did when you first got into town. Maybe you've been here for a couple days, a week. Maybe this is your first day.
I was planning. Otter was previously a blacksmith, and I was going to have him work in Waterdeep. If that's all right with you, he can work outside.
You tell me.
All right. Yeah. So he was part of the guild in Waterdeep, and then once he witnessed a cleric cast spiritual weapon, he kind of put down his hammer and left, and decided to kind of find out what this power that's been inside him all along, why it's wakening up right now, and yeah. That's it.
You want to put down his physical hammer.
Yes.
Spiritual hammer.
You have all this this strain and toil of actually hammering out metal and ore, and this guy's just making spiritual weapons. Like with
I am doing this wrong. Years and years.
Work smarter, not harder.
Carpal tunnel. So, yeah, I think you could, visiting the Yawning Portal sounds like a fine idea for him to go witness something mystical.
Magical? You're going to witness
Magical
magical
and
thing in
mystical.
the bar?
We also know each other from our youth.
Yeah, so I went to Waterdeep to find you, but when I went to your blacksmith shop, they told me you ghosted them. You just walked away in the middle of your job.
Is this a spiritual weapon joke?
So, yeah, it is now. So, not being able to find you, and then not really knowing why you quit or why you just wandered off one day, I went to the Yawning Portal because I knew if you weren't at work, you would probably be at the pub.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well, would you be hanging out with me prior to Waterdeep, or do you want to meet in Waterdeep?
I've been with you forever.
Okay. So I stroll into town, leash thrown over my shoulder, my friend in tow, and I'd say we're probably already at the Yawning Portal because Marcellus is, he wants to talk with the big boys and get in with the people to be with kind of deal, the in crowd, so to say, and he definitely would have found out that the Yawning Portal is like the place to be for the gossip and the goodness and the drama and the drinks and the drama.
So you're big on drama.
Yes, very big on drama.
Just want to make sure I understand.
And also, I mean, if they have drinks, that'd be awesome. But whatever. But yeah, so I think we'll be there. We'll be hanging out.
Durnan is happy to hook you up with drinks.
Ooh, okay. Hey boy. Hey Durnan. And I will be keeping a very close eye on you, my friend. Can sit right next to me. And this is a coloring book. And I'm giving this to you.
And Picklewitz and I have been working the crowd for a while and around the portal. That's where the money's at. That's where we're going to be. I'm playing my loot. My rat's picking pockets. We're good.
Picklewitz is the true champion.
I love this rat.
I mean, you named him Picklewitz. You set us up for failure. So.
Right.
I'm eating a coloring book.
For a second I was like, am I laying it on too hard here? Like a coloring book, and then I'm eating the color. Okay, so no, we're good. All right. So that's how we're gonna move forward. Beautiful. I'm glad to know.
Okay.
All right. So
I'm going to pass around a sheet here. The sheet was included in our box. It's also one of the handouts from the Dragon Heist adventure. These are some of the familiar faces from around the Yawning Portal. So you'll see a little bit of art for some of the key NPCs, and there's a little blurb about them. Durnan is the innkeeper. He's the guy that owns the Yawning Portal. He has been associated with this place for decades. He's a human, so that is in and of itself a little strange, but strange magic stuff happens all across Faerun. Rumor is that he's cursed because of his adventures. Most people don't really have the spine to ask him about it, because he's not real open to talking about his experiences in Undermountain. So we have.
Astrid gonna eat that, or are we good?
I thought about it.
do you want me to show this off to our viewers at home?
Just go ahead and pass around. This is for you guys.
Oh, it's for us.
We have Bonnie. Bonnie is one of the barmaids. She bounces around table to table. She's very, very good at her job. She always seems to be at your table when you need her, which is unlike any other table service we've likely ever had. Hey, my water cup's, oh my god, it's full again. We have Matra Merrig. Matra Merrig is a bard, socially awkward. Performs at the Yawning Portal, is a better musician than he pretends to be, very self-deprecating, calls himself 3 strings because he plays a lute that only has 3 strings remaining.
Call him like you see him.
Right? We have Jalaster Silvermane, a Chandathan human fighter.
Call him like you see him.
Jalaster is not really hiding the fact that he actually works for the Lord's Alliance. We have Maloon War Dragon. Maloon is another Chandathan adventurer. Maloon is cheery, optimistic, eager to fight alongside those he considers friends, always willing to share a story of heroic adventure. Very not a bubbly personality, but very open to further discussion. We've got Obeya Ude, a Chultan priest of Joaquin. Are we familiar with who Joaquin is?
No.
Basically, the goddess of trade. So it's the shortest way to say it. Obeah is she's here visiting from Chult, the jungle continent peninsula, way off to the south. Those that played in Tomb of Annihilation are familiar with it. Chult is a silly place, and we don't go there. But she is here to explore the world and learn more before she returns home. She is keenly interested in tales from the complex that lies just below your feet. Then we have Yagra Stonefist, the half-orc. Yagra is she's a thug. One of her key phrases, "Want to arm wrestle? Hope you're stronger than you look."
I'm not. Trust me.
But yeah, so those are some of the familiar faces there. This place is always packed. There's always some kind of music playing. It is large enough to have sometimes 2 or, if it's particularly busy, possibly even 3 live performances going. The tables are always full. It's an excellent place to network, and that's where we will dive right in. Are we good?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sweet. So, you sit around a sturdy wooden table lit by a brightly burning candle and littered with plates cleared of food and half-drained tankards. The sounds of gamblers yelling and drunken adventurers singing bawdy tunes nearly drown out the off-key strumming of a young bard 3 tables over. I see that face. Then all the noise is eclipsed by a shout. "Ya pig! You like killing me mates, do you?" Then a 7-foot-tall half-orc is hit by a wild, swinging punch from a male human whose shaven head is covered in eye-shaped tattoos. 4 other people stand behind him, ready to jump into the fray. The half-orc cracks her knuckles, roars, and leaps at the tattooed figure. But before you can see if blood is drawn, a crowd of spectators clusters around the brawl. What do you do?
Is this the woman from the sheet, the half-orc?
This is this is yeah,
Not Astrid.
Not
Astrid. Yeah, I guess more importantly, is my friend still next to me?
Sure is. Yeah,
Okay.
you guys are all sitting at the table. So this has just exploded a few tables away. People have circled around it. They've blocked your line of vision. It's a D&D game. You're starting with a brawl in a tavern. What I mean.
We're going classic.
Hey, stereotypes exist for a reason in gaming.
All 5 of us are together then at the table.
Yeah, you're all.
I mean, I'm under the table. Yes, absolutely. Where's my rat?
I'll shout at you under the table, "Get back up here, you are embarrassing me!" And I look at you and I go be a gentleman and take care of yourself.
Oh, I don't know if that's what it's certainly your friend here could be of more assistance.
I look over at my friend who is, I'm assuming, still chewing on the coloring book.
And watching the fight.
And I look back at you. And then I look at her. And then I look at you and I go, "You seem to be sans a coloring book,
Otter,
though."
did you become a wuss in the last
No,
couple of
no.
years?
So we're
I
discussing
did not.
coloring books. Meanwhile, you're hearing as Yagra is just pounding on this person on the other side of the wall of people.
All right, I'll run up. I'll run up and up. Agnes, get my back here, would you? Hey, hold on here. What's going on?
So you're shoving your way up there?
Sure. Yep. I'm big
Yeah.
enough to shove my way
Anyone
up
go right?
Yeah.
Well, you're
I'm just gonna
Goliath. You're
stand on the
fairly
table and be
imposing.
like, "Yeah, what he said."
Are you gonna come out from under the table? Are you still hiding?
I'm hiding.
All right.
I'm gonna wait for a second.
Okay, I'm gonna sort of look at you and go, "Well, she'll watch our bags." And I'll look
I got
at
the
you
stuff.
and I'll go, "I'd really love a better view of what's going on. Will you hoist me onto your
Pick her up
shoulders?"
and throw her that way.
So, no!
Wait, what?
You would be very explicit with your instructions.
So Astrid is participating in the time-honored tradition of cow tossing.
No! This is awful.
So Otter, you're pushing your way up there. Astrid, you are getting involved by basically turning the cow into a projectile. Is that understood?
Chucked.
Chucked. All right.
Chucked.
We
This is
have Magpie
classic
sort
game.
of
Classic
collecting
game.
everyone's belongings, watching the
Already
table.
better than the farm.
And Agnes, how are you reacting to all this?
I stood on the table to get a better view, and if he's getting
Oh, okay.
closer,
Yeah.
I'll just start hopping from table to table, but I want to be on the tables.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So, Otter, you push
Thank
your
you.
way up
Okay.
there.
Perfect.
You hear a thud as Marcellus
Hits me in the back of the head, flying through the air.
I also duck when she comes.
right? Marcellus, you can land on your feet. It's a little, maybe not necessarily awkward, but...
I am very dexterous.
Sure, roll something out.
I'm going to roll performance. That's
Sure.
not dexterity. I'm going to roll athletics.
Okay.
That's still bad. That's an 11.
Okay, that's fine.
That's good?
Yeah.
So I land semi-gracefully on my feet, and I
Yep.
look back at you. With this exact look of, did you just do that?
I can't see that. Is that a smile?
Cats land on their feet. Cats.
With that, I do need initiative from folks just so I can kind of track.
All
some stuff here.
right. I was gonna say, as I'm assuming I'm like being thrown into the fray. Ooh, we're definitely going quick here, boys.
All right, so let's see here. Astrid, what do you got?
I got an 8
Oh, big numbers.
because I'm good at D&D.
All right, Magpie.
I pulled off an 18.
18.
Scraped it
Marcellus?
off the side of it. Marcellus is coming in with that hot 15.
15.
Yeah.
Agnes.
7.
7. Otter.
Despite my reluctance to get involved, I rolled an 18.
18. Nice. What's your dex bonus, you and Magpie?
0.
3.
Okay. So Magpie will actually be able to do stuff slightly
One
before you're
lies.
there. Right. So, so we're looking at it like you can see that the half orc is on top of this other person and just like, very much attached, right? Throwing punches and grappling, and her entourage of people is just behind her, and they're ready to jump in. Magpie, you have first opportunity. What do you want to do, if anything?
Oh, wow. I have all this stuff, too. I have to, like, watch everybody's stuff.
Well, you're under the table, right?
Currently, I mean, I'm peeking out at this point. Am I going to make a run for it?
Do you think you'd like fortify yourself under the table?
Start
Or
stacking
do you
barrels.
think you'd like launch yourself into the fray?
I'm gonna send the rat out to see if I can get a clear, like, exit, like straight out a window. I'm gonna take all this stuff with me and
Where's all
wait
this
for you
stuff?
guys
You
out by the
have lots of
outhouses in the
bags.
back.
Confirmed.
And when
Cards
I
are
say
thieves.
bags, I got like
Okay.
6 like very fine leather suitcases.
I'll make sure that you guys get your stuff back. I just
I'm
don't want
sure,
to
I'm
harm
sure.
the
Okay.
fray.
So you're gonna use the rat and sort of just like plan an escape route,
Yep.
a clear exit
Yep.
if it's necessary.
Yep, if
Okay.
necessary.
Sure. Otter.
I am undaunted. This is much like a wrestling match back at the farm that
Oh, yeah.
I grew up in. I'm going to dive right in and attempt to break it up.
Okay.
Physically. By
Okay.
pulling the half-orc off. if
Sure.
possible.
I'm gonna need you to show me some kind of strength, like athletics. Give me a strength check. Like,
Sure.
Paint me a word picture, and let's do it up.
I will use athletics. I will just jump in. I'm used to handling big bodies. I am the
Okay.
smallest of my 10 brothers. My 9 brothers.
And because of that description and tying in your background and all that, I'm gonna give you inspiration on the roll,
Excellent.
Yay.
Is that advantage?
or advantage on the roll.
Okay.
Rather, yeah.
Fantastic. Because I spent my 18 earlier.
Yeah.
All right. Break it up. And that's an 8.
8. All right. So you launch yourself right in there, and much like the wrestling matches you had back at home, you find that you've been flung off to one side fairly callously.
I was really hoping you guys had this handled.
I'm a cleric.
Yeah, that's going to bring us to Marcellus.
All right. I sort of look at you getting thrown off, and I look back at you, my friend, and I shout, because I just assume you're like my constant audience of everything I do, and I kind of like shout back at you, and I go, watch how it's really done, and I want to saunter, I use that word, I want to saunter up
Sure.
to Eyeball Man,
Mm.
and I want to look at him, and I want to go, sweet.
Eyeball Man, who is currently grappled by the very angry half-orc.
I pointedly stare at him so that I can see him within my range.
Is okay.
And I ask him for a wisdom save as I say, sweetheart, let's not be brutes. And I attempt to charm him.
Oh, okay. So go ahead and describe your spell.
Okay.
Because my one saves us nothing.
All right. So, yeah, I look at him and I go, you're embarrassing me. Please step off and just sit down.
I
And
can't step off. I'm underneath the orb.
I know, but now we have half the equation taken care of. And I sort of like look on to like somebody else and I go, I did my part, somebody else do something now. And I'm going to basically what I would like is regards me as a friendly acquaintance. So I'm trying to friendly acquaint him to tell him as a good friend I would tell him to stop punching other people right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
If
He's
this
defenseless. It's
results
wonderful.
results in him getting pummeled, I guess that's a risk I'm willing to take. But yes, so that's what I'd like to do.
the bald guy, his eyes sort of glaze over. You're familiar with what that effect is. You feel like you've been successful there. Mechanically speaking, I mean, I rolled a 1. You know yours.
Yeah.
The circle of people here, a couple of bodies push their way through, and 2 of them reach forward to try and pull the half-orc off of what you're guessing is their buddy, because they also have like short buzzed hair, and you can see the tattoos. Those of you that are right up in the mix there. That is 1, and there's that. By their powers combined, they are able to grab the half-orc by her very large, burly arms and pull her off. She's got spit flying out of her mouth. She's super angry, vein popping out of the forehead. She's screaming about how she's gonna just kick Krentz's teeth in. Let me go. You're all next. And she's like reaching over and like attempting to bite one of them.
Nice.
She's super angry.
My ego's a little hurt.
Right? Well, there were 2 of them.
That's
to be
true.
fair.
That's true.
To be fair. Astrid.
Well, I'm gonna jump down and come over to the cow and pat him on the head because he did a good job. And then I'm gonna help buff my new friend, the Eyeball Man.
Okay. Okay. Sure. So we do all that. Agnes.
Alright, so I want to put in the caveat that I don't know anything about being a rogue except what I read in this journal, which is just a list of rules that my grandmother created.
Okay.
So I'm going to open the journal.
There's gotta be a rule.
Go through. And on rule 37, it says, fights are great opportunities to steal stuff. So I'm going to look for a target. I'm a rogue. According to this book.
Does your rule book include a friendly fire rule, or are you gonna
it includes, I actually wrote out 100 rules.
Oh my gosh.
Did you actually write out 100?
I actually wrote 100 rules out for being a rogue.
Oh, sweet Christ. You have
So we
inspiration.
will find out. I was very excited. So I'm just going to I want to look around the crowd. I want to see if anyone's behaving in an odd way. I want to observe things and possibly
people are
if there's a
excited to see
target.
the brawl break out. Something that before you completely dedicate to this, something that the laws of Waterdeep, they frown very strongly upon thievery, and it's mostly revolving around being caught in the act of thievery. But
rule number 3 is don't get caught.
well, okay, as long as you have a rule for it. But yeah, there's. The residents of Waterdeep take a very dim look towards crimes committed against citizens.
Alright. Well, in that case,
Something to bear in mind. I'm not telling you no.
Alright, I want to see if anyone is acting suspicious, if anyone is acting odd during this fight, and if anyone in particular just isn't looking at their stuff.
Well, most of them are focused on the fight.
Okay. There's a lot of stuff. Can I still do something on top of all that?
I think that's pretty much going to take you around.
Okay.
Consulting the
Do
book,
I need to roll?
looking around.
Can I roll a dice?
I'm not too worried about it. There's a
Even
lot
if it
going on.
doesn't-
You were pretty clear with what you were
I can just
describing.
roll
So.
one though, right?
Yeah.
You can always
Yeah, if you just
roll
want to
a
pick one up and roll it for satisfaction.
It was good.
I rolled a thing. I did a thing.
Roll for speaking.
All right. So with this, the 2 people have pulled the big half-orc back. They've broken up the grapple. Otter is like hurt right here in the pride.
I'm resilient though. I come back.
You'll heal.
Yeah.
You'll bounce back.
Yeah.
Okay. The bald guy, you have picked him up. He sort of he's half behind you, so that you're between him and the other half
I
orc.
didn't put him down.
Well, he's trying to wiggle around behind, so that
You
there's-
have him in a bear hug.
Yeah, he's trying to wiggle around. He doesn't want to be in direct line of contact with the other half orc.
From one half orc arms to another really
Right.
quickly.
He's saying down. I need down. Down. He's wiggling.
What do you say?
Please, please, God, please.
Put him down.
Okay.
From across the room, you hear, "Good." We use our words.
Right. With that, he takes a tentative step back, and he's arms up. He's like, I didn't. Yagra, that's not what it. That's not what I meant. And Yagra responds just by screaming his name. Krantz! She's still real mad. And as you're processing through all of that, you hear another scream. A much louder, more guttural scream coming from the open well in the center of the room. Shouts of alarm suddenly ring out as a hulking creature climbs out of the shaft in the middle of the tap room. A monster with warty green skin, a tangled nest of wiry black hair, a long carrot-shaped nose, and bloodshot eyes. It bares its yellow teeth and howls, and you can see a half-dozen bat-like creatures that are attached to its body, with 3 more circling above it like flies. Everyone in the tavern reacts in fear except for the barkeep, Dernan, who shouts, "Troll!"
Oh, wow.
So that's a shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, alright.
And with that, one of the things that we got in our big platinum box
Is a troll.
is a whole bunch of figures.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, no, that, okay, yeah. I was expecting, like, him to just be like, baby
giant-
troll! It's like,
Yes, they sent me a live troll.
That box is amazing.
yeah.
So, I'm not too worried about gridded combat and stuff. He's not going to stand for me.
You can just, like,
Good, he's
smash
drunk.
him.
Get up there. There we go.
Yeah. Alright, look at that guy.
Yes, so we have a troll
Wow.
right there. So you guys can all see what it is. We are faced with yet another decision point. What do we do?
Are we still within initiative?
We are maintaining that initiative because this is all happening very, very quickly.
Okay.
Who's next up?
Yeah.
That is actually going to, after I make a check,
Ooh.
look, a troll.
Oh.
And it gives me all my stats on the backside. You get the art on the front. Our buddy the troll has that initiative.
Your buddy, the troll. Not our buddy, the troll.
Say your buddy. But remember, you have those little flying creatures sort of circling all around him. You've got 3 up above. He can stay over there. There's 5 attached to him, 3 up above. That's going to bring us back up top of the round, and we have Magpie.
Well,
That clear path to the exit that you
Gone,
saw is,
yeah.
is gone now
my
that people
damn
are.
rat hasn't even come back.
They are the other patrons are scurrying for the exits as fast as they can.
Well, I drop everybody's stuff at this point.
My Louis Vuitton.
All right, I'm gonna keep him distracted by pretty much playing music and like singing at the top, like making a complete ass out of myself, so that everybody else can figure out how they're gonna do that.
Okay.
So I have started running around and hopping off of tables and playing my lute very loudly, very irritating.
Okay, are you doing this for any like spell effect, or are you just
By everybody else sometimes so that they can.
okay? Just
So
to
they're not gonna
distract.
get hit. Yeah.
Okay. Show me some kind of skill to back that up.
So let's
What
go.
song are you playing?
Perform.
I mean, what song am I playing, right? It's the worst! Doesn't matter.
I was like, I haven't heard this one before.
Ooh, it's new.
Roll a 17. I mean, I'll use performance, so I get +5. I'm maxed out at that point.
Sure.
22.
Yeah, that sounds like a heck of a
Yeah.
check.
So,
All right, and that's going to bring us over to Otter. You feel like you were pretty successful in getting that thing's attention.
yeah, man, he's watching me.
Its
I got-
horrible eyes and broken teeth are now like focused
Yeah.
in your direction.
And I'm hoping those high notes are like affecting any sort of echolocation those bat things will have. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Have I seen anything like this before? Do I know what it is?
I mean, you have all heard about what trolls are, so
Right.
seeing one, like, you can process, like, that must be a troll. But on the other hand, I'm in Waterdeep, and this is the big city, and that's a
Right.
monster. Why is there a monster?
Because these stupid people built a bar on top of a giant gold panther.
Location.
They put
location,
their bar
location.
on the Monster Factory.
Did everyone like kind of scatter away from
Oh,
the
yeah.
troll as it came forward?
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna run up there, feeling emboldened and a chance to redeem myself. I will run up, and a thunder wave from the power of Aminader, which has never happened
okay.
before, is gonna sweep out from me
Okay,
and try to knock the troll over or hurt him.
sure, give it a shot.
It's a 15-foot cube
Yep.
originating from me. It's a con save for him. DC's 12.
Okay.
And on a failed save, 2d8 thunder damage, and is pushed 10 feet away.
He makes his save.
Okay.
He's sort of a burly fella,
Half
9
damage?
feet tall, bunch of fatty muscle.
Excellent.
Yep.
Sounds like my older brother. At half damage and isn't pushed.
Okay, so what's your total?
Oh, lovely roll. 7.
7.
That's full, so 3.5.
Gotcha. So he takes a little bit of damage from your effect. You feel that power just roll out of you. Doesn't seem to have the full impact that you were hoping for, but it's a start. And that will bring us to Marcellus.
Just to clarify, would I know that if the code legal covers murdering monsters, or is it just people's?
Do you want to spend time this round trying to think about the minutia of the code legal, or participating?
Forget legal.
So I lift up my hand.
Make me an insight check real quick.
Okay. Insight. I am kind of good at that. That is a 10.
10?
10.
You're reasonably certain that this would be a defensible thing.
Okay. Even if it wasn't at this point, I'm probably like, oh, bother. All right, so I am going to look at you and as like a free action, just sort of shout, sort of panically, murder, kill, as a troll, and like drop the eyeball man, and then I'm going to look at him and I'm going to go, bang, and as I do, I shoot off an Eldritch Blast.
I hope it's bang.
Bang.
So at the troll or at one of the little bat-like things?
Oh.
Because you still have the three flying around.
Yeah,
and
one of
five
the
attached to
little
it.
bat boys. That's what we're gonna do. I like that. That seems like a smart thing to do. And that will be an 11 to hit.
11 to hit is not quite enough. Oof.
That makes me very sad.
Well, he's got that blubbery sort of fatty muscle skin. So
Got you. So
pretty
yeah,
gross.
I'm like mid spin and my hair gets in my way as I just can't see it.
Something to make clear for Otter. When you made your Thunderwave thing, you took out all but one of those that were attached to that. They were full of stuff. So you get the impression now. You're not entirely certain what those were, but they strike you as oversized mosquitoes.
And you like
What color
exploded
stuff?
a bunch of them?
Yeah.
That is disgusting. Just so we're clear.
Give my own nickname, the Exterminator.
Right? All right. So you sent your Eldritch Blast. It wasn't quite enough. Durnan has somehow, possibly spontaneously, generated a sword and has vaulted over the bar. He's leaping in. He makes a wild swing at the big old troll. And that is
Durnan the barkeep, right?
Durnan the barkeep.
Durnan the barkeep.
Durnan the
Alright,
barkeep.
So the barkeepers.
He has vaulted over the bar, cleared the floor, closed the gap between, and cleaved into this, like all in one smooth, very fast motion. That is a heck of a hit with awful things happening to the troll.
He must be like level 3 or something.
Yeah. Durnan's been around. He's seen some things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe level 3 then.
Right. And that's going to... Not that number, it's going to be that number. There's a big wound cut across the chest and into the abdomen of the troll. The troll's lips curl up and you see those broken teeth. And it just kind of scoops everything that fell out of its gut right back in, and you see it all begin to patch back up.
Trolls.
What do you mean? Like he pulls out like a sewing kit and starts fixing himself?
The
Or...
skin just knits itself back together. So the wound isn't completely healed, but it seems to be on its way. Otter.
Yes.
He has a nasty claw, and it's coming for you.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Bring it.
Nasty claw to the tune of AC 14.
That is one too low, sir.
Okay. He has a second nasty claw for you for an AC of much higher. This is going to be 11 points of slashing damage.
All right. That knocks me unconscious.
Oh.
Okay. He snaps his jaw wildly. There's spittle flying all over the place. He looks at you briefly, but he's focused on Durnan at this point.
It's fine.
That's going to bring us to Astrid.
I want to play too.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Hit it.
I'm gonna try. $17.
Oh, yeah. So 10 points?
That hit knocking me down did nothing to my ego.
Gotcha. All right, so you strode right in there. What'd you hit it with?
I have them all.
Okay. Agnes.
So, seeing Otter go down, I'm still on the top of the table, right? Yes.
Sure, blasting
Yes,
you.
I am still on top of that table. And so I see Otter go down. I'm like, oh crap! It's just like that vampire goat situation. I'm gonna jump.
It is.
Mr. Roger bred some weird stuff at the farm. So I'm gonna jump on top of him. So I'm like crouched, and then I'm gonna I have 2 daggers, and I'm gonna try to hit the monster and 2 eyes, right? 2 eyes for my 2 daggers.
It currently has 2 eyes, yeah.
Just like that.
You throw some daggers?
Yeah, 2 daggers, 2 eyes, 2 daggers.
Alright, make your ranged attack.
Alright. Do I roll for each dagger, or do I just get 1 dagger?
Well, you've only got 1 attack at this time.
So I take the 6 and add the 5 to hit, right?
Yep.
Awesome. So that is 11.
11 is not quite enough.
It worked better in my head.
I'm imagining
I am now short 2 daggers. I'm not happy.
Imagine you like taking them out and going to throw them at the troll,
This
and they
is-
just like clatter harmlessly down the giant pit.
By the way, this is still just like the vampire goat. This is still the same.
Still,
It's,
right.
Nothing has changed. Yep.
Right. Magpie.
Oh, God. Oh, can I just inspire somebody?
Yeah.
I have the
That's up
bardic
to you.
inspiration.
Who gets it?
Can you apply bardic inspiration to death saves? Because maybe we should give our cleric
Yeah,
some
can-
inspiration.
Does it allow you to apply inspiration to your saving throw?
I will look it up.
Yeah,
Okay.
please do.
If so, then death saves a save, so sure.
In my handy dandy player's handbook.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like a normal player's
That's
handbook.
because it is the limited edition Hobby Store
Wow.
cover. Yeah.
Jesse's
I'm
showing off all the swag.
Yeah. I'm very happy with it. It's
Oh,
it's
yeah? Well,
fabulous.
I've got-
All right, so you are a bardo.
A patch.
Bardos, you can inspire others
Fine.
through stirring words or magic. To do so, you use a bonus action on your turn to choose one creature other than yourself within 60 feet that can hear you. That creature gains a d6. Can roll the dice and add it to one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw it makes.
Excellent.
There you go.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Boom.
That way he won't die.
I am
as
very
quickly.
inspired. Unconsciously.
You are
very
unaware,
inspired.
but you have been inspired.
Excellent.
You know what? I should double
Okay.
check if you can use it.
Anything else that you're doing for your turn?
You can wait until after you roll the d20
Yeah.
to use it.
Oh, yeah.
So if
And
you
it's
would
good for up
fail,
to 10 minutes, right?
Yep. So if you would fail your
Inspired,
roll,
unconscious,
You like that?
and, unconscious, and capable of making decisions.
you're having really good dreams
There is
while
one
you're on
more
your
thing
way.
flying
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
Or is it attached to him?
Nope, flying around.
I'm going after that thing.
Okay.
With, I guess all I got is daggers. That's all I've got right now.
Sure. Throwing a dagger?
I guess so.
Alright.
Do that.
What'd you get?
I mean, I rolled a 3. There's no way that this is happening. So like,
It's a warning shot.
There's a magnet somewhere attracting all of them.
Yeah, it's
obviously.
There's just like it's like the Game of Thrones, like the Iron Throne, but just like it's like daggers and stuff people have thrown.
This isn't us.
Yeah.
I'm usually much better.
Was that in character?
Right on.
I usually don't suck this bad, just so you guys
Honor.
know.
Yeah.
You got a death save to make, sir.
I will make that
Oh.
death save. And I will use my inspiration 26
Yeah. Bardic inspiration.
for an 11.
Yes.
You don't get any worse. So it's
Yeah.
so
It
if
couldn't
you
get much worse.
if you fail 3, you die. If you succeed on 3, you stabilize.
Gotcha.
So you succeed.
Do
Do
on
I
just
one.
become conscious if I stabilize?
If you roll a
natural
20.
Gotcha.
If you roll a natural 20, then yes, you bounce back up with 1 hit point.
Perfect.
Well, you're still on the floor, but you're conscious.
Well, I will roll a natural 20 next time.
Good luck.
You're just trying to get above
That's what
the
you're
top.
I'm inspired.
Marcellus.
That's me.
Yes.
Are there still little bat boys flying around?
You got one of those flying around, the other seem to
I
have
couldn't
sort of
hit it.
fluttered off.
Okay, I'm going to like readjust my position and grab my own wrist and then go bang. So hopefully it helps
Are
me
you turning
aim.
your wrist sideways?
So hopefully aim a little bit better. And that is going to be so much worse than the first time.
What'd you get?
I got a 7.
So, Durnan, who's like
Do I- please
two-handed
don't tell
on
me I
his
hit
greatsword, he's like fending off and trying to hack away at the troll. Hey, watch the lamps!
Oh. I holster my weapon and put my hand in my pocket.
Fair enough. Durnan holds his sword up and brings it down in a very mighty blow. He is, he's
Best
yeah.
member of our
Thank God
party.
for that.
Thank God for this guy being on your side.
Picklewick's got some competition for party leader right now.
Stupid rat's not even back yet. So
So he brings in another cleaving hit, almost taking the troll's arm off. The troll shoves the arm back up. You see everything kind of pull back together. And it attacks Durnan with a flurry of blows. It's got 2 claws. It's got a bite. One of the claws hits. The bite hits. Takes a good chunk out of Durnan. He's not looking great. He's maybe able to hold for a little bit longer. But those are a couple of very heavy hits. Astrid.
What happened to the other half-orc?
She panicked when that troll came up.
Man, couldn't redirect your anger. You gotta run away.
Yeah. She's one half, that's why.
So am I.
Well, you're better half, I guess.
Yeah. You guys should use the cool dice. 23.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 23's good. We'll
Nice.
take it.
Yeah. I'm also going to take my same advice. Use the dice tree.
Yeah, you want to.
14.
I don't think she
14?
uses dice trees.
Well done.
I golf clap
Knit
at
back
you.
together again.
Golf clap.
It's
for
already
Astrid.
Agnes.
Alright, I'm flustered. I want everyone to know I'm a
Look at
little
it.
flustered.
Full rule book.
Oh no, I'm looking up a rule I want to reference here. So, I'm gonna
Everything
be like,
she
okay.
does is going to be referencing a rule.
Be like, alright, okay. Rule number 14. Go for the knees. So I'm going to get my rapier out, and I'm going to attempt to stab it in the kneecap.
Sure.
Smart move.
She
did
did
say
11.
try.
Oh wait, no, it's a
There's a lot of
rapier.
11s.
Hold on, it's still 11.
Hold on, my roll is exactly the same as it was. Does that change anything? Yeah, I mean, you have that planned strike. It all worked out so well in your head, and that's where it stopped.
How's it TPK on the first actual live
Yeah.
stream? Has that ever
Oh, I
happened
had
before?
Oh yeah, pre-gens, he says.
You know, as
It's
a
like, you're all going nowhere.
So that's going to bring us back up to top of the round, and we have Magpie.
Awesome. I mean, I would at this point just say let's run. Obviously, he's got the barkeep to deal with. Like, we can sneak out. I understand, though, that you guys aren't going to let me do that, are you?
I don't know if I can run at the moment.
Yeah. Magpie's not
drag
Magpie,
you.
Otter's bleeding out on the ground.
Somebody would drag you. I mean, that's what really
Maybe
matters.
not one of us.
Now what do
You guys aren't really that close, let's be honest.
Might be dragging you to the morgue.
Is there anybody in the bar that I can convince to help us out with this besides the barkeep left?
Well, you can scout around for that sort of thing. You can make me a. Are you proficient in nature? Let me ask you that.
I am not proficient technically in nature. I have a +3.
Okay.
I am in persuasion, though. Which
Well,
is really
it's-
what I was hoping for.
It's not really the same thing that we're going.
No,
for.
it's not. I'm not going to be able to convince this troll to stop.
Well, let me ask you a little bit of a character backstory then. Has this character ever encountered trolls before, or have you just heard about them?
Good gods, no. Like, I mean, they're like mythic legends. I grew up in the sewers, for crying out loud. Like, I know rats and alligators, and that's about it.
Okay. Not really the same family here.
No.
You
so-
didn't tell me your character was from Florida.
I don't like to tell people that for obvious reasons.
All right, so sure, if you want to maybe make a perception check to look around and see what else is out there.
You should look for the eyeball man, because that's the cow's friend.
Yeah, right? The guy that you picked up. Where's your friends?
They have all scattered.
Not my friends.
Just because we lift
All right.
people doesn't make them our friends.
I got a 17 on perception.
Okay.
Check.
So looking around, a couple of things come to note. Now this is your action for the turn. It's
Yep,
like
yep.
just gathering information about the environment here. People are still pushing their way to get out the doors. Some are trying to crawl out the windows. You do see that Yagra, the other half-orc, is basically pushing people through the doors, herding them into safety. So she didn't like freak out and fall prey to fear. She's actually getting people out of the facility. You can make out that she's yelling that Durnan will get this under control and the others will hopefully take care of it or assist. But you do see that Yagra is pushing people out of the way, and you rolled fairly high. You hear one little thing come out of Durnan, where you feel like he's talking to you, but you're not quite sure. You just hear the word lamp.
Where are the lamps, guys?
There are lamps all around the room.
Let's see.
on the
Can
ceiling.
we shoot them down?
I've been trying to shoot something. If a lamp happens to fall because of one of my misled elder
Surprised that
blasts,
hasn't happened. I mean,
yeah,
they're going
Mr. Dungeon
everywhere.
That
Master.
said-
Daggers flying.
That said, that brings us over to Otter. Make his death save.
I will make that death save, sir. 13.
13. You don't get any worse.
Not the 20 I was
Marcellus,
hoping for.
not
Yeah.
the 20 you were hoping for.
Do you when,
Better
he,
than
when
last
he
time.
says
It
lamp?
is.
Do you yell lamp? Do you echo that?
I do, yeah.
Okay. Trying to decide if Marcellus would like pick up on what you're trying to put down, or if he would just be like, I'll say he does, and I'll go, and then I will go. I aim for a lamp,
Sure.
and so that means even if I miss, it still hits, right?
Get,
All right.
Get a 10 or higher. That's all I'm asking for.
She did it.
What'd you get?
I got a 1
You rolled a 1?
on the dice.
Wow.
I'm gonna roll this other one now, which I would have gotten a 20 on. But I really didn't want to hit the lamp. I actually wanted to hit like whoever I'm not supposed to be hitting, preferably. Yeah.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
just end this while we're ahead.
And she missed the lamp and accidentally hit the troll.
Yes, I like that. I like that.
The accidental bank shot.
Yeah.
All of the walls, off the floor, off Durnan. Now, in this case, like you fire off a shot, it doesn't have the effect that you're hoping for. And this time, all of you very clearly can hear Durnan yelling, "Get the lamp! Burn it! Burn the troll!"
I look at you and I go, burn the troll.
So he brings down another hit. He hits.
We should really just let him take care of. Like,
I told you guys!
just get
he
out
has-
of his
That
way.
half across
So he
the
has the
city.
troll's full attention. So he's got 2 claws and a bite
I
coming
don't
in.
blame the troll for having
Durnan's
Durnan
It's
having
cool.
his full
This
attention.
is the stream where Durnan dies, guys. I know he's like a famous thing and everything.
Both claws and the bite connected.
Oh.
Durnan is looking very, very rough. Burn it. That is going to bring us to Estrid.
I'm gonna try to get a lamp. Where's the closest one? Like right there.
10 feet away. You can walk over and rip it off the wall. if
Just
you
rip
want.
this
I'm
one
gonna do
out. Well,
Yeah, no. Please don't argue.
Okay. Do I have enough to go, rip, come back, and throw?
Sure.
Oh. and
So
what
it'd be
kind
an
of check
improvised
would
thrown
you like that
weapon.
to be?
What's that?
What kind of check would that be?
Improvised thrown weapon. So it's just your next check. You're not proficient.
I'm also not good at that.
She's not proficient,
do it,
even though
you can
she's
do it,
been
we
throwing
believe in
things
you.
this entire game so far.
So you throw the lamp.
Yes.
It smashes on the floor near where they're fighting, but it doesn't actually hit.
oh my god, this is the worst.
Agnes?
Does it burn down?
All right,
Durnan catches on fire.
I hear him say the lamp, and I go, of course, rule number 12, you can always set it on fire. Just an actual rule number 12.
If you
So-
didn't have it written there, I wouldn't believe you.
It's really there. So I will take my other dagger.
Mm.
I assume that there's this amazingly large lamp right above him.
Chandelier style.
Yes,
yeah.
chandelier
course
style with like
It's
30
like
candles.
antlers and candles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
it's
gold.
amazing. And I will throw my dagger through the rope. I'm gonna use ugly dice this
you
time.
can
So
use
bear in
inspiration.
mind that you do have inspiration. Inspiration.
I have inspiration?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
because
both have
for writing
you
100
have a
rules.
book with 100 things written in it. I gave you inspiration.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So bear in mind that the way inspiration works is when you go to roll your d20, you say,
Okay.
I'm using inspiration on this. It's not a re-roll. It's
Oh.
you get to roll an extra d20 and take
Okay.
whichever result you prefer. You can also spend your inspiration when someone else is going to roll a d20 and they get that effect. You spend your inspiration on them.
Gotcha. I'm definitely gonna use my inspiration
Yeah.
for that.
Sweet.
So I rolled
I
two
like how
d20s?
you Cashed it in.
Yeah.
Oh, I cashed
Two
it
and
in.
take the higher.
We have an inspired roll. What do we have?
Oh, it's not that
They're
inspiring.
not.
It's a 14.
No, I'm good.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Oh yeah!
The thing comes crashing down. You see Durnan. Well, hold on. Durnan throws himself out of the way.
Yay!
Figure I should probably check for this. The thing comes crashing down. There's shrapnel and splintered antlers and bits of candle wax and, more importantly, fire. As it hits, as that shrapnel hits the troll, you see its flesh just catch, and you can feel the whoosh as it just lights on fire.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, it
well
smells
done.
so bad.
It's like burning garbage. Oh.
You said you were from Florida, aren't you?
You
I'm sorry.
think.
I'm done. No more Florida jokes this session.
Next.
So
Next session.
it doesn't burn very long, but very, very, very quickly, it's reduced down to just a skeleton.
Like it kills it?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Wow, we approached this completely the wrong way.
Oh, guys, yeah.
Durnan struggles up to his feet. He's leaning on the sword. He says that he's going to have to get this patched up, but regardless, you all fought pretty well.
Did you actually
nice
watch
of
me at all?
Look
That was
around.
good.
Who assisted you? You did fine.
Speaking of patching up,
You're fine.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'll stabilize him.
hey, you're unconscious.
I'm like, hey, buddy.
He then follows up with someone might want to get the Goliath off the floor.
Is there like
He's our healer.
is everyone
so-
gone in here?
People are still trying to push out. Jaeger's still trying to get people out of the facility. This all happens very, very quickly.
Yeah.
Once the other patrons could feel that push from the fire, that's only going to give them additional reason to leave as quickly as possible. Not many are going to turn around and be like, "Ooh, what's that? Oh,
Well, there goes. I was gonna like.
oh,
shout,
there's a
like,
big
"Oh,
bonfire in the
who's
middle of the bar.
doctor?"
That's totally safe."
Is there a doctor in the house?
Yeah, because our doctor is dying. I guess.
You can always medicine check. To
Yeah, I was gonna
stabilize
say,
somebody.
does anybody have any training in medicine at all? They would maybe wanna-
please, does anyone?
I don't think-
Can I do a check even if I don't have training?
Yeah. Well, I just meant like does somebody have like a
Oh.
character reason that they would know? Because it makes more sense that way. But
No.
otherwise, yeah, go slap him.
I'll just slap some things on his face.
Slap.
So that's a 10.
Yeah, I just need a 10 to stabilize him. Like
Alright.
that's all I'm looking
Alright.
for.
Now you're stabilized.
Yeah,
Does that
perfect.
make him conscious?
No, it just stabilizes him.
He won't wake up, guys. I
He
don't.
needs healing.
Usually slapping him works. I don't understand.
Can you carry him, my friend?
I would assume so.
You
Yeah.
okay. Then I sort of gather my cloaks about me
Okay.
and ask Durnan where the nearest healer's office is.
So as you're talking to Durnan, he's got a tin that he's taking the top off, and he's rubbing this salve all over his arms.
Oh, okay.
You can see some of his wounds closing up. He says, "Just move." Pushes you out of the way, takes a handful of that glop and smears it all over the Goliath. It smells a little bit like pine sol and vomit, but it seems to have the intended effect. Give yourself. Hang on, here we go. Go ahead and give yourself. Wow, that's actually really good. 10 hit points.
I am back to full, thanks to the vomit on my face.
It
Wonderful.
says don't mind the smell, but these tinctures really worked very, very well.
Is that troll on me, or what is that?
Just don't question it, friend. What you guys have done here today is very helpful. I'm now going to ask you for one additional bit of assistance, and that's get out of my way so I can clean up.
Bye.
Excellent.
So as you sort of reconvene and gather yourselves, Durnan's already beginning to pull the bones out of the way, put them onto a big piece of canvas. You see him take the canvas and throw it over the edge of the over the edge of the well. It's like, well, it's where everything else can go. It's where it came from. It's where it belongs, right?
That's where all the daggers go.
Right.
Ours, anyways.
As you're watching this, you realize that no one else has really come back into the bar except for this very overdressed, sort of foppish-looking, pot-bellied individual, mustache handlebar. He walks up to you, up to your assembled group. He says, "Volo Gadarm, chronicler, wizard, celebrity, at your service. What you've done here, very impressive. Happy to see it. I trust that you've noted the violence in our fair city these past 10 days. I have not seen so much blood since my last visit to Baldur's Gate, but now I fear that I have misplaced a friend amidst this odious malevolence, and I believe that you are appropriately equipped to help me recover my friend. Yes, what say you?"
I love how he comes and spits this out at us as we're like picking your body up off the floor.
He doesn't really seem to be bothered by that.
Oh, good. All right. Awesome.
Clearly,
You are
so
all
well.
very eager to do the right thing, and I must say that my friend Floon Floon Blagmar. He is such a good friend of mine. He has more beauty than brains, I must admit. But I worry that he took a bad way home a few nights ago. He was kidnapped. Clearly not by this thing who crawled up out of that place. And he points over at the well in the middle of the room. He says that I believe that my friend Floon was kidnapped, or possibly worse. But if you agree to track him down, with all due haste, I can offer you 10 dragons apiece right now.
That's
And
it.
I can give you 10 times that when you find Floon. What say you? May I prevail upon such heroes in my hour of need?
Oh, we say yay.
You hear Durnan,
Yay.
who's
Yay.
several pieces away.
Whatever, yes
Really,
is your
Volo?
language.
Volo, is this the time?
It's just yes.
Give him a minute to get their wits
Obviously,
about.
it's from a foreign land.
He's giving me a dragon?
Yeah, that's.
So, the coinage here in Waterdeep, a gold dragon is 1 gold piece.
I feel
don't think
very
it's enough.
misled. I wanted 10 dragons.
10 actual dragons. He says that it would take me some time to procure a route to bring those dragons. And even so, there's the enchantments around Waterdeep. You couldn't bring a dragon into the city if you tried.
I can leave.
Then you obviously don't want to. Like,
I don't know all. I think that can I say that I would assume my character, wanting to work his way up the sort of like social scene in Waterdeep would know who Volo is prior.
Pretty much everyone has heard of Volo.
Okay. Okay.
So Volo, the general high level thing here is Volo wanders the world, writes a bunch of books about like Volo's Guide to the Sword Coast, Volo's Guide to Waterdeep, where at tavern he'll list out like these taverns and he'll rate them. This trade road rated 1 out of 5. Too many bandits.
Volo is like the Forgotten Realm, like Yelp.
He is Forgotten Realms Yelp.
Then I block him.
yeah.
I would see this first off as an opportunity to get in with someone who's like on the cahoots around here, and
On the cahoots.
on the cahoots. Yes,
Okay.
that's that string of words I'm gonna put together.
Just
yeah.
leaning into it.
Yeah, as long as I act natural with it and don't skip a beat, no one will know that I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yes.
But yeah, I figure, and I kind of look at you guys and I go, what do you think? Like, I think that
been on the
right
search
now, right after this bloody battle, is the perfect time for us to
Yes.
integrate ourselves with the society
I
here.
agree.
I have been seeking cahoots, and cahoots have presented themselves.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree.
How nice is this man's hat, by the way?
It is
Nice
incredibly
enough to
colorful.
steal.
It has plumage from exotic birds that you don't recognize.
Good sir, in return for this favor,
Yeah.
Like he's been
I will
gone.
need
That's
that hat.
Oh, this hat is very much a part of my identity. I cannot possibly bear with it.
How
You don't
much
just
do you?
ask a man for his hat.
This hat accompanied me as I wrote the very pages of Volo's Guide to Monsters. Clearly, you've heard of this, yes?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah,
That is
yes.
the appropriate answer, and it has accompanied me through every effort I've made to write Volo's Guide to Spirits and Specters. This hat is a part of me.
Well,
Maybe-
perhaps just a feather from the hat.
I was gonna say maybe you could
You're
just,
not
like,
getting the
touch
hat, Agnes.
Could I touch the hat?
You may touch the hat.
it. I
It was
pull
my-
out my Forgotten Realms disposable camera.
Selfie.
Snapchat for you. Pull out my my messenger stone or whatever. and
He
Post
says,
that
so,
to.
so what say you?
Huzzah!
Will you be the hero that I need?
Yes,
What do you
I
got?
am. I am a bit surprised that you're not asking Durnan to do this for you after our performance, but yes.
You hear Durnan loudly and almost comically loudly growl, and you realize he's like 15 feet away. Durnan and I have an agreement. I no longer ask him to do things, and in exchange, he doesn't ask me to take my books out of the bar. Mostly because he won't let them in, but that's a different topic.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
What do you
I
say,
don't-
friends?
I don't trust him. I don't trust a man with a mustache. I don't
Roll
trust
insight.
You don't trust the bartender, or you don't
Ask
trust?
Mr. Dungeon Master if you can roll insight.
Rolo,
Yeah.
Volo, whatever
Yeah.
you want to call his
Rolo.
face.
I wish he was Rolos and not
Oh, wow, I
Volo.
rolled
You rolled a
I
1.
did. Shh, don't tell
Oh.
anyone.
So Volo
A 100. She rolled a
holds
100.
up this little black pouch, and he shakes it.
Is that my hat?
No, that got dark. You hear the clinking of coins rattling against each other. He says that I appreciate that you may not trust me, but we will resolve that in due time. But clearly, yes, may I assume, hopefully, that you do trust coin. Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Take the money.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna take the money. I mean,
My
I still
friend,
trust you had the coin on you, I guess.
I would say take the money and then tell him you still don't trust him, and then be like, I need some more, buddy. But
Yeah, at least half up front for this.
Well, he says that
he's giving us each 10.
Yeah.
And then he said more afterwards.
Yeah.
10
payable
times
upon
10.
delivery. Yes.
100? Is that what that is?
Yeah, it is
Yes.
100.
Can we
Yes.
confirm that 10 times 10 is 100? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Duncan.
I don't
Second
trust
message.
that either.
Yeah. That's why I confirmed with, the man behind the screen.
Right. So he says that if you are willing to take this up for me, I have one of these pouches for each of you, and he's already handed the
Yeah,
10 to
I'm
you.
investigating. Yeah, I'm
Right.
writing it and stuff. Yeah.
Like, is it real gold?
I taste.
Why is mine chocolate? That's weird.
This is better than gold.
It's a very special blend. It's the confectioner dwarves. It's a rare clan.
It's good. I'll still take it.
But he says that yes, he has one of these pouches for each of you. If you would only be the heroes that he firmly believes that you are, and that you can definitely become.
We're heroes.
If you think that I'm some sort of hero, Volo, I'll be your hero, baby.
Fantastic.
Okay.
I believe that you would really like Floon.
I bet I would.
Excellent.
I bet I would. I'm going to introduce myself to this flea. Once we find him, which we will, because we're great.
Of
Yes,
course.
because you are all heroes.
We're all heroes.
Yes.
We need a hero team name.
You can if you like.
Ooh.
And yes, it has to be hero team name X.
So he goes on. He hands a pouch of coins to each of you, and yes, there are 10 gold dragons in each one.
Excellent.
He says that Floon is a handsome human man in his early 30s, wavy blonde red hair. He was dressed in princely garb last I saw him. 2 nights ago, we were drinking. We were merrymaking at the Skewered Dragon. It's a dark and bawdy place over in the dock ward. You may wish to begin your investigation there. I miss Floon.
What was the bar called again?
It's Skewered Dragon.
Skewered
Yes.
Dragon.
Over by the docks.
Dragon.
I like how he's like going on about where everything was, and then he just interjects, I really miss him. I'm very
really
sad
uncomfortable
right
about
now.
this.
I'm gonna give Volo a hug.
Of course. She's probably gonna carry him.
He's-
too.
We're
Sort of
awfully
wiggly.
familiar with Volo.
Yeah. I feel like
Feather in the hat, the hugs.
Yeah.
We're a very
good.
touchy group.
We are.
Yeah.
We
Touchy-feelies?
learned by touching
Yeah.
things, you know.
I mean, y'all do.
Yeah.
Ain't touching nothing.
I feel like you're the conspiracy theorist, like tin hat everything.
Yeah. Oh,
You're just
yeah.
like no, this ain't gonna fly. Yeah.
I grew up on the streets.
Well
This
then,
isn't real.
what do you say, friends? Shall we? Is it? I'm assuming midday, noon, 1, 2.
oh wow, we
It's
started
mid-afternoon.
early.
Yeah.
Mid-afternoon.
And I'll ask Volo. I'm assuming the trip to the Skewered Dragon would be, but a quick.
Yeah.
It's across town,
Yeah,
and it's
I know where
a
it's at.
different ward, and you can assume maybe an hour or so to get there as you navigate the streets.
I think that, Mr. Volo, sir, we are absolutely ready to rock this mission, but you must send us off in style if you do believe that we are these heroes you believe us to be. Rent us a carriage, I'm not walking.
He says that, well, you see, then I have already provided your stipend, and certainly heroes such as yourselves have glorious means of transportation, yes?
Yeah, it's called my own 2 feet.
So my resources are,
Have Astrid
they're
just
tied up in
throw
other
you in the
investments
box.
currently that I generally don't bring a whole lot of liquid capital
I
on
like
me.
sort of like-
You see, I travel quite a bit for my work.
Come, children, let us
And-
go. I head towards the door. I know this type.
Follows Guides to Spirits Inspectors, look it up.
I give him one last question, I put him down, and we go.
I like the idea that the whole time we're having this conversation, you're still holding him. He's like going on about why he can't afford to rent us a carriage while you're just like, man. So yeah, I mean, where did he say Skewered Dragon was? Which
In the
district?
dock ward.
Dock wards.
Yep.
Where they went.
Dernan's vomit has me feeling wonderful. I am ready to go.
Can we get some more
I
vomit
actually
from
like
Vernon
the
before we
smell.
go?
Yeah.
No, that was an emergency.
Aw.
That was an emergency thing.
Same.
You do see that the Dernan and Bonnie have already cleaned up the majority of
Wow.
the mess.
Quick work.
This is probably something that happens fairly often.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to get that impression that this is not an isolated incident.
Gotcha. Well,
Monsters coming up, you know.
what do you say, guys? What are you thinking? We want
Yeah,
to head
check it
right
out.
there?
I'm
Might
up
as
for
well.
bar hopping.
Okay, so I also think that while we're on our way to the Skewered Dragon, we should keep our eyes open for affordable lodging.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know about all of you, but I require at least mediocre lodging.
I would have a room, I'm sure, because I've been in Waterdeep for
Sure.
a while.
Yeah, if you're part of the Blacksmith Guild, you...
Right.
But we gotta bump together.
Yeah, that's how teams
Hero
work.
You're-
teams.
You
Yeah.
are welcome to stay at my place.
Oh,
It is
we should
small.
call ourselves the X
So-
League.
The X League?
Yeah, because we're the Adventure League, but we're the X League. You said it had to have X in it.
Did I?
You did.
No.
No.
The X was like XYZ, like a placeholder.
Oh, I
Like
thought
algebra.
you meant
Yes.
it had, whatever we picked, it had to be like, yeah.
No, that
We're the
was the team name.
Pretenders.
Is hero team name X. That's it.
Hero
That's
team
the-
name X?
Hero
Oh
team-
yeah, that's better.
Yeah. X because we're already dead, whether or not we know it. Well then, yeah, let's.
It's EX.
So Waterdeep will have whatever sort of lodgings you want.
Cool.
Everything from the almost free or so close to free that it's questionable to so expensive that it's questionable. It's all available. So we can navigate that off screen if you like.
Okay.
It's like finding lodging at Gen Con.
Yeah, right? Yeah, lodging at Gen Con is sort of related. If you want to pass this around, this is your buddy Volo.
Oh, I hugged him.
Buddy is a very strong word.
I hugged him.
He's
You
a
should
really
have a
nice
hug book.
He's
Characters.
more like Volo.
Oh, fuck.
He's just as obnoxious as I
Astrid's big
remember
list
him.
of bugs.
He has a nice. I should have gone for the scarf.
I like that it's without feather because she had one.
Yeah, I totally swiped his feathers.
Swipe or no swiping.
Swiping.
Bad Grogu. Then yeah, to the skewered dragon. Huzzah!
Yeah, we don't really need to rest or
Huzzah.
anything.
Huzzah. Don't worry, all huzzah for all of us. Repeatedly.
Freeze frame high five.
At the worst possible times, yes.
So, the Skewered Dragon is in the dock ward. Otter, you've been in town for a bit. If the rest of you, you're also fairly new to Waterdeep, you'd be able to sort of find your way there. Even with as big as the city is, like the major hangout areas, the major gathering places are generally known. You may not know exactly where, but you can get within a block or two and then narrow it down. The Skewered Dragon is a tavern between Net Street and Fillet Lane in Dock Ward. Let's see. As you turn a corner, you find yourselves on a street that has been cordoned off by the City Watch. Lying on the cobblestones are a half-dozen corpses, seemingly the victims of some terrible skirmish. Watch officers have disarmed and arrested 3 blood-drenched humans who are in the midst of questioning witnesses. One of the officers sees you. Get on. Nothing to see here.
What's
I think
happening?
there's
What
plenty to
happened?
see here.
Yeah.
Is that blood? Are those people blood drenched?
What happened?
I've somehow gone pale, despite my eyes.
Despite your paleness.
Yeah.
I want to sneak in and get a closer look. Can I actually do that?
They've got a pretty decent set of eyes watching the environment here. So there are dead bodies in the street. A couple of people are being arrested and questioned, and you're all being ushered along.
Do any of them look like my new friend's friend?
I'll just.
What happened here?
The watch officer responds with Zentaran thugs operating out of line. Pretty much par for the course. It's just a day. Move along. They'll get what's coming to them. Code Legal's got them. And the watch officer gestures over her shoulder at the Code Legal, which is hanging on a nearby wall.
Oh, that's
awesome.
Woot.
So there are copies of this all over the city. Pretty easy to come across.
I'm going to take the copy he passes to us and pocket it.
Well, you have to pull it off the wall.
Oh, okay, yeah, then I'll just walk up to the wall and take one down.
Yeah.
Do it.
And if he says anything, I'll just be like,
You hear
We
you hear
need
the
to
you
know.
hear the watch officer. I'm gonna pretend I didn't see that. Move along.
okay, good.
Hey,
What?
I'll pretend I
Cow.
didn't do it.
Oh, that's
Theft.
not me.
flogging, followed by imprisonment of a 10-day.
That's only if you get caught, though.
Hard labor up to
That's-
a year.
But she just did it in front of the dude.
And he's going to pretend they didn't.
But she
see
didn't
it.
get
Right.
caught.
Well, the
No,
watch
you.
officer did.
Me?
You stole
The
that.
watch officer did say, "I'm going to pretend that I didn't see that."
I'm not stealing it. I'm borrowing it.
How do we know what the
Jeez.
rules are if we don't know what the rules are?
Try
Yeah.
using your eyes.
You're asking a
we
lot.
learn with our hands.
Yeah. Yeah, we're a handsy group. We've gone over this. Cool. Well then, yeah, I will also pretend I did not unknowingly steal the piece of paper off the wall.
Is this blocking our way to the...
No. This is
Sewer
just
Dragon?
something that you
Okay.
see in Dockward. You get the impression that Dockward is a much more rough and tumble area of the city. So
And the safe place we just left with the troll.
Hey, at least that was indoors.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll
I'm okay
continue
moving
on.
Yeah, I'm okay. Just like keep going.
Can we post that up?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can post it up. Where's
Yeah,
the?
that's fine.
We got that sticky tack, right?
Yes.
This is so cool. Let's put
If
it
you'd
up.
like to pass
Yeah,
the tack
I
down,
feel
they
like
can
we're
go
ready
ahead.
to
Yeah,
go.
let's put it right there.
So if you guys want to put the code legal on the wall, is
Right
a
behind the
reminder-
rogue.
Right behind the rogue.
Perfect
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah,
Rule number
between
101.
you guys, you're the ones that are gonna get caught the
Yeah.
most.
Oh right. Where's the top line? Is it above the lamps?
It should be. We should be good.
All right, cool.
I'm gonna stop holding this.
Where's
up.
your gunk?
Well, I don't have to. Oh, here, you can dunk it.
All right, I'll go.
Yeah, you may want to make that a
Oh.
little bit higher.
Okay.
Is that crimes against the gods?
Yeah.
Yes.
What
So
god?
defacing the temple, you know,
All right.
that sort of thing.
One on the
Uh-huh.
bottom.
Breaking a holy symbol.
Yes.
Oh, that
Wait,
is a
what,
crime.
right here.
Let us know when it looks good. Like that? Higher?
Sure. Yeah.
Higher.
Higher. Good. Yay.
Good.
Yeah.
Yay.
There it is. There's the code legal.
We put it right behind us, so we'll never look at
Well,
it.
rule
last time I'm gonna
101,
read
if the
that.
code legal is behind the rogue, then the rogue is not responsible. Right?
Yeah. Ignorance is bliss.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's behind me, that means it supports me, and life is fine.
Yeah.
It's got your back.
So the code legal is, like I said earlier, I mean, that's going to be your general view of the laws that govern the city,
Okay.
along with potential punishments and stuff.
It's just flogging. Flogging's not so bad.
It's not.
So you can continue over to Skewered Dragon. You can wander around Dockward a little bit more.
I think just
You're
head
getting
towards
into
Skewered
evening
Dragon.
hours.
Yeah.
The dragon.
Tractor
Head's
beam.
right there.
I don't want to like be in the dark here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely want to get back
I want to
to
be the scariest thing in the dark, and this makes me feel like I'm not the scariest thing when I'm in the docks.
Okay. So the Skewered Dragon, as you draw close, the Skewered Dragon looks like a ruin. Both of its front-facing windows are smashed. A ship's anchor is lodged in the roof. Through the windows, you can see a group of haggard patrons drinking from huge.
That did not come in the box, right?
No, this was not in the box. This is just good comic timing.
Yeah, enter.
What?
Walk in.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
you enter.
You enter
I'm
through the half
offended.
door. The door is half closed
What are
because
you
half of the
offended
door
with?
is smashed.
The state of this establishment is offensive. You have to remember, I'm very like
Oh, that's right.
prissy.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah. I think I'm something I'm definitely
You,
not.
you,
but
you are dramatically out of place, with your clean clothes
Yes.
and not grimy skin.
Yes.
Oh my god.
yes, I imagine that I'm sort of walking around with like a handkerchief in my hands, sort of like opening the door like a grandma kind of deal, like scrubbing,
Hey,
like, oh sweetheart, you just got a little something.
Make me an insight check real quick.
Oh no. I'm going to insight at a decent insight. That is a 13.
You know you are not going to be making friends here.
Oh, okay.
You specifically.
Oh, me specifically.
Maybe
Okay.
I should wait outside.
I was thinking
Separate the
exactly
party.
that. Hurry up, you guys have 5 minutes in the car.
Double park the carriage, guys.
What, we're in the handicap zone. You guys got 5 minutes in and out. I will kind of look at the door. Are the rest of you all going inside? Is everyone
Yes.
Yeah,
going
I'll
in?
go ahead
Are
and
you
go
guys
in.
both going in?
You should come with us. The
I
street's so
got a
close.
disguise kit. Can I put it on you?
Oh, well, you know what? Speaking of things like disguise kits,
I mean, but are you
We
willing
can
to
throw
let
a
me roll
mustache
you
on
in
you real
dirt?
quick.
Like, I'm not gonna let. You have to be dirty.
If you want to apply disguise kits and that sort of stuff, that's fine. Take a few minutes and establish what you want to do before you go in.
I'm going to cast Prestidigitation on myself
Okay.
to make myself look not clean.
Without having
Oh,
to
sure.
actually
Like,
get yourself dirty.
Yeah, without actually having to be dirty.
Smart.
I want to look rough and tumble like I totally fit in here and I'm hard and seasoned and ready to do stuff with boats.
Bunch of lies.
Yeah.
Sure.
First time
That
I've
works.
seen prestidigitation used to make yourself more dirty.
Yeah,
Right.
right.
It's very much against type.
It is.
I imagine I like make myself kind of look like a wizened old sailor. Got, like,
Yeah,
scars.
peg leg and everything.
Yeah, and I talk like this until we leave the tavern. Squint a lot. And I walk in with you guys. Now we're inside,
I'm
standing
covered
in
in
the doorway.
vomit. I fit right in, I'm guessing.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Picklewitz is here. So that's exciting.
Oh, see.
Is that what
You've
he
recovered
just
your
showed up now?
Has he been here all along?
Yeah.
No, he just showed up.
Somehow-
He jetted from the last bar straight to the next one.
He's sitting at the bar with a tanker.
Yeah.
Guys.
Swimming
So
in
you
it.
find your rat clear across town in a completely different bar in a town
Wasted.
you've never been.
Wasted.
I like this plan.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure I understood.
He lives his own life. We just, we're friends.
You have an
We're
understanding.
partners. He's not a
Yeah,
pet.
Yeah,
exactly.
he does him. You do you.
It's like
Yep.
these two, but,
Mhm.
right.
Right.
Doesn't this seem like an odd place for Floon to be hanging out? Wasn't he dressed in princely garb?
Yeah. Yep.
Agreed. I don't
It'd
like
Yeah,
be
it-
just
it's-
as odd
I'm
as
ass-
Marcellus and his true form.
Right.
I'm assuming this is kind of like that bar from SpongeBob that he tries to get into.
The
where it's
biker
like-
bar?
The biker bar. Where it's like we walk in and we're like, SpongeBob! And they're like big, hefty, evil fish with like hats and stuff and like skulls and crossbones. And,
True.
okay, that's what I imagine now. So we walk in and the music comically stops.
The music of the patrons talking to each other, lots and lots of cursing, mugs hitting the top of tables, and that all goes dead silent.
All right. Well,
They all turn and look. New here?
absolutely. I'm gonna roll for persuasion. I got +5
Sure.
on there, so 16.
How are you trying to persuade them?
I'm so that we're all welcome, totally in this bar, so that
You have to like
you're
scowl
not-
at him like a pirate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, God, I spit on the floor, like I
Yeah.
scratch myself,
Yeah.
and like I light up the pipe, and like order around, and like throw the bag of money at the barkeep, and
Oh, okay.
All
everybody's
10
good now.
dragons
No,
of yours? Oh.
That's-
I've
a
already
lot.
pocketed
Yeah.
a good.
Okay,
portion of
okay,
it.
okay.
So there's only a couple
Considering
left
a
in that
mug's
bag.
only going to be like 4 copper.
Yeah. It's like throwing 1 gold coin for the entire bar, and everyone's good.
Sure, yeah. The drinks when they're delivered are all of slightly different color. Most of them have a kind of an oily sheen to them. Most of them
Stuffing.
smell like fish and beer put together
You better
after
drink
the beer's
this,
gone through the fish.
Marcellus.
But it's up to you if you want to attempt to drink it or not. But that does buy a little friendly attitude from the others that are here. There are some bits of debris that passes tables and chairs. If you wanted to sit down and sort of observe the environment, you can go join others. How do you want to do this? Paint me a word picture.
I think we sit down and kind of pretend to be having merriment while we're actually scouting the place.
Agreed.
Something like that.
I was gonna go chit chat with the bartender.
Sure.
And see if
Yeah.
he knew anything.
Yeah, someone should go talk to the bartender.
I think the peg-legged person should.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah.
Talk to the
I don't
bartender.
think precision quite covers it as much as we want to, but we're going to pretend. Yeah, we're
Okay.
pretending now. It's non-mechanical.
Ooh.
So yeah, I will peg leg up to the counter.
So based on the sound, if we have
She's got a lot of legs.
we
She's a
have-
cow.
if we have thump and then 2 others, do you have like 3 legs?
This was the sound of my real leg. No, remember,
She's making
prestidigitation.
extra noises.
Yeah,
She doesn't actually know.
prestidigitation doesn't do as much as we want it to do. So I'm making the like clunk noise with my mouth and then walking with my real 2 legs. So I'm like clunk. Clunk! And like very obviously saying it out loud, trying to like make it the illusion of my peg leg more authentic.
One of the what you're guessing is one of the regulars, big burly guy with just a patchy, mangy beard, oversized mug, subtle.
I look at him and I go, clunk, clunk, and I take another step. A clunk, 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 and I
Sure.
settle at the bar.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd like to take a look around and see.
Is there anyone like playing dice or playing games or anything like
Yes,
that?
there are some games going on. You recognize it as 3 Dragon Ante. Essentially, it's like poker.
All right.
But there are a couple of games of that with ratty, beer-stained cards.
Are you playing?
Yeah, I'm gonna go play. Sit down.
Okay.
And hit those guys up for information.
Sure.
She's gonna like pickpocket one of these evil biker men.
Don't worry about what I'm gonna do.
Who assumed they're evil? There was no evil implication.
There's you just hey,
You have to-
you
you
don't
have to-
see it. It's like it didn't happen.
You're right there, but you have to remember, I have put this up. This is the SpongeBob bar, so all the fish are evil. Therefore, all these patrons are now evil.
You should be more worried about me cheating at the game of cards than
And getting caught.
and getting
Yeah,
caught
yeah.
in pickpocketing.
Hey, for what it's worth, if you're going to cheat at the game of cards and you roll like you did in the last encounter,
Yeah.
there's nothing to worry
We
about.
burned all this
Yeah.
stuff. All we have
Well,
left
I mean
is ones
briefly in
and
the first
twos.
round.
Yeah.
What do we see it other than
So,
Anything
what?
of note?
Well, we know what you three are doing. How about you two? You bought the round, so you're good.
I'm good. Yeah. I'm just
People either like you or they like you enough to not pay attention.
She's reunited.
And you
with
have
her
your rat, so
Yeah.
Who's also drunk.
quality time with pickles.
Yeah, wasted.
So nobody here looks huggy.
No, generally not.
No.
Not at first appearance.
I'm gonna sit down and scout out who needs a hug.
I love you so much.
Okay.
What was my eyeball friend's name again? I have to write him on my list.
Baldy guy?
List of friends.
Krentz. Krentz. Krentz.
And Volo.
Thank you. He's already on the list.
He's already on the list. Okay.
Astrid's list of people I've Volume 1.
Volume 1.
Volo's a big get.
The
Good
beginning.
get.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that's like a gold tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of points.
So,
You can definitely tell you're a main character. You wouldn't have met him.
So the general chatter is they're residents that are talking about some of the things that have been going on in the city. Some of them are sailors that have come in off the vessels that are docked out in the harbor at the various piers. The more you listen, the more you realize it's just kind of boring. Most of the people here in the facility are regulars, and they come in every day. Of the dozen or so that are here, 2 are sailors, and everyone else is sort of the armchair commentary. Everything that's wrong in this city, and let me tell you, in my day, we didn't have these adventurers. And, well, I mean, they're wrong, but...
We've been doing this since first edition, y'all. We've been doing this since 4 years written. Yeah. Well, what do you think? Think about that.
Well, I'm gonna sit down with my game of cards.
Mhm.
How many people were sitting there with me?
Are you just muscling into an existing one?
Oh, I just pulled up a chair and just like
Oh,
sat
just
down.
like flop some cards out?
Yeah. Like
Oh,
I
okay.
just
Out of your own deck.
Not
This is my
suspicious
son.
whatsoever.
don't fight it. This is happening.
Yeah, if you want to kind of get someone's attention, you can get a person or two to join you. Sure.
Yeah. So I start getting some people. I'm like, who wants to play? I just got into port. I'm a rope specialist. We just sailed in.
So you're a rigger. Where are you coming from?
Oh boy.
Faraway lands. They were control.
Cholt! I wasn't choking, I was saying cholt! Sorry, next
So
time I'll
the,
make sure you know I'm not choking on my own spit.
The wiry, wooden-eyed individual who is now sat down with you at the table, as you stumble over the word,
Yeah.
looks at you.
Listen, I'm into ropes, not geography.
Says, you need some more fruit while you're in the water. It'll help you get those words out. Keep the health up.
Ah,
Yeah,
Yes.
chult, right? Chult.
chult. Yes, chult.
Yeah.
Chult. That's
Port Nines
exactly
are
what
it's a
I was
silly
gonna
place.
say.
I don't want to go back there.
No, it's a lovely cinnamon. Lots of cinnamon.
Cinnamon? What?
Lots of cinnamon there. It's what they specialize in, right? I'm
Jungle
really,
cinnamon.
I really just work on the ropes. I don't really do trading. I don't. So and
Somebody
we're
saved
dealing.
I don't know what's better, if you like actually don't know
It's
anything
going
about
well.
cholt, or like
It's
do.
going well, guys. Back off. This is perfect. I'll be like, so
Cholt, the land of ropes and cinnamon.
you
That's a little bit different than the adventure I played in.
I'm since I just came into port.
Yeah.
Do you drink here often? I heard that this was the best bar. It's the best bar with the best drinks, and I can now say that I've had one of the legendary drinks here.
He looks at you, grabs his mug. Yeah, you heard wrong. We
I
drink
was
here because it's
self-confused.
what we can afford, not because what we want.
Yeah, being a sailor, right?
I'd rather drink my swab water.
Being a sailor. So anyway,
He sticks out his hand. He's got about 3.5 fingers left. He says, "They call me Swabby."
I drink my own swab,
I take
and
one
they
of his
call me
fingers.
Swabby. I am worried.
I take one of his fingers and I shake it. It's nice to meet you, Swabby. They call me Piper. They call me Piper.
Yeah, that was good.
And, I'm looking for an old friend that I
Yeah?
used to know here. I think he would stand out if you're here often. He is, what we call in Charles. Charles. What we call in Charles, we call them fancy boys.
Fancy boy.
Because they wear fancy hats and fancy clothing.
Cholt, the land of cinnamon rope.
There are fancy boys there.
To be fair, you've now heard from multiple people that Chult is a silly place.
Yeah. I just want to play in whatever
Have you
you're
seen
playing
him?
in.
He owes me. First of all, he owes me a couple of coins, and it would just be good to catch up with him and get those.
We don't get a whole lot of fancy down this way, but you gonna deal these cards?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. We had this other guy. He met with that Vala fella. Volo. Ah, yeah. He turns and he looks over his shoulder. Thanks. Yeah, there was a fancy guy here met with that Vorno guy. Volo. Yeah, Volo.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were here. They talked to some other real fancy guy, Lord Always Burning or something. Whatever. I don't follow up on nobles, but they were here for a while, and gotta be like he came off like some spoiled rich kid, rich noble brat.
No noble
Just
spoiled.
likes to
nobles.
rub our noses in it just by coming in here and throwing his money around. Meh. Hey,
While he's doing this, by the way, I'm like discreetly just like writing down in my journal like all these things. I'm
Oh,
like,
really? Tell me more.
hey.
What type was he? What color is his thing?
Yeah, they came in, they played some cards, they kept throwing money around to like raise the bet, trying to force us off our own tables. We wasn't having it. Nope.
No, of course not.
Nope.
Of course not.
I'm gonna
So
walk
what'd
up.
you guys do to him?
Oh, we didn't do nothing. No, we're good people here. Just sound rough. Right now, the other 5 that walked out after him, though, it wasn't us.
Who were the 5 that walked after him? I'm only asking just because, if he's broke and he can't pay me.
You sure do ask a lot of questions for someone coming up from the land of cinnamon.
And they teach us there not to ask questions.
He says that
You were
he's
so-
not sure. The people that followed him out, he says that he thinks they had been paying attention to Volo's conversation with the nobles, but after they left, he's like, that's no business of mine.
No, of course not.
No.
It's not your business to
No.
watch out for people and protect them and do things that are nice things.
I'm listening. I'm sitting directly behind them, and that's when I yelled at the Volo. I'm gonna say like, "What day was that, sir?"
He says it was just a couple of days ago. And as this conversation's going on, who had gone up and talked to the barkeep? Yes, Marcellus. So you're discussing the various drinks that are brought in, and the barkeep is telling you what he has here, and it's all variations of the same. Swill, I think, is the general term. And like mid-conversation, the barkeep breaks the connection that he's got with you and just yells out, "Swabby! Don't tell him about the snake symbol!" And then goes back to...
Goes back to talking to me?
Yeah.
How can I go, the snake symbol. It's a good thing you told Swabby not to tell anybody. So what's about this snake symbol?
Swabby likes to run his mouth. Don't pay any attention to Swabby.
Swabby! I just
That's all he doesn't know.
Yeah. So yeah.
He's so popular.
What are they? What's Swabby going on about today? Who's he throwing under the Forgotten Realms bus?
Swabby likes to make up stories. Swabby likes to pay attention to conversations that aren't his to pay attention to.
Yes. Swabby. I kind of look at him and I go, so if somebody around here were just having a conversation that they shouldn't have been having around here about things that they shouldn't be paying attention to, who would they go to talk to about that? And I slide him a gold coin.
Oh. Takes that coin and looks at it and says, well, I definitely wouldn't recommend that you stay away from any of the Zentarum agents that you might find.
Yes.
Especially the ones over on Candle Lane. You don't want anything to do with them.
No, definitely not.
Sometimes those clowns come around here. I didn't call them clowns. Sorry, I take that back. Those fine gentlemen come around here, and they make themselves welcome in a place where they're definitely not welcome. Most of the time, they don't come back, but their friends do. You don't want to pay any attention to them.
Gotcha. And I when he said clowns and then stepped back on himself, I scratched that and I was like, I guess they're not clowns then. Alright, yeah, Kendall Lane, Zent, yeah. And around here, you haven't seen no fancy folks coming in, with their really, really nice, awesome designer cloaks and looking very, very uppity and just being generally very good looking. I know, you've not seen any of them around here, have you?
He could actually say that, and he describes a lot of the same stuff that Swabby had relayed.
Yeah.
That Volo and Floon were here the other night. They met with another friend.
I was sort of more like, yeah, assuming I was going to get like the same kind of story, but maybe seeing if he could give me more info on the 5 that followed them out.
No. He says that the 5 had carried themselves with purpose.
Okay.
And once they walk past that that half door, I don't care about their purpose. It's not my problem.
And you've not is bouncers a thing they would have around here?
If it were a reputable establishment.
Oh, right, yeah. Haha, I forgot where we were. Guys, we're at the skewered
They don't need a bouncer. They have
They have broken windows and an anchor in the ceiling. What more do you need to
Right.
scare away the wrong people?
Exactly.
Cool. Well, then I go, yay, thanks, buddy. And I hobble back
Yep.
to my table. You guys are all still like sitting at that same table we came in at?
Yeah, we're sitting right directly behind her.
I'm
and another one.
still sitting at the card table.
Okay. I'll just like sort of saunter up next to you as creepy old man with a peg leg saunter as a creepy old man with a peg leg, and I'll go, I got some information.
Oh God! Okay. Do you meet my new friend Swabby? Hey, Swabby, this is shipmate expert. She keels. She does the keels.
And I look at him and I go, Swabby!
Yeah, Swabby!
Swabby! Swabby, are you talking about things that you shouldn't be talking about again? Swabby, let's go.
So now that we're
This
setting
was
up our
fun.
pirate personas.
This is so much fun. It's just so good to make new friends. And I'm like, just getting the cards that we haven't even played. I'm just like slowly putting them back.
Here's my
So
phone number.
Swabby looks around at the group of you, at the 2 that are now here, and he says that as we're getting into what should normally be deep winter here for Waterdeep, it's just unseasonably warm. Don't trust those seas. Don't do it. I wouldn't trust him any more than I could trust those Zentarum that come in here. You don't want to do that. It's a bad plan.
Trust the what?
Good
Seas?
Swabby advice.
Did he
That
say
makes
seas?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
The
Seas.
seas? Like the water?
Yeah, he's telling you to.
Oh.
thinks you're-
Yeah,
You're a sailor.
We're sailors. I like both in character and out of character. I said the C's, like the letter C. Like I don't know what you're talking about. I don't recall.
Yeah, it's just the fruit. We'll do the fruit.
The fruit.
The fruit.
Yeah. That's
fine.
I'll lean back and say, Zentarum, how often do they come in here?
I could tell you, but then they'd find me. And I don't want to do that.
Mm.
But you definitely don't want to be here regularly.
Hmm.
You really, really don't want to go to where they got that snake sigil, and that's a bad plan.
Tell me about that.
No, I can't do that.
Gotta know
Tell
where
me
not
about
I
to
why
just
I
told
wouldn't
you I
want to
can't
do
tell
that.
you about it.
We gotta know where not to go.
No.
Are we supposed to
He
avoid
grabs
it?
his oversized mug. I think I'm done here.
What if I give you another coin to fill that mug with?
We're blowing through
Wait,
these
would
coins,
you-
guys.
And
We're
listen,
also like totally destroying the local economy.
Yeah.
It's like way more money than should be in circulation in this
And
area.
actually, that is a valid point to bring up, especially
Oh,
when
no.
you're in a lower income place like this, flashing a lot of money.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, it'll buy you information. It will probably, like, your gut instinct tells you, like, that'll probably garner potentially the wrong sort of attention.
can I go back and do like a couple coppers?
Sure.
Yeah, I'll do a couple
just
coppers.
fill the
Take
mug
Nazis, I take
instead of buying
Nazis.
him like a year's worth of
Right,
beer.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I fill your mug, will you tell me what places to avoid?
Yeah, he says he can give you a little bit of a insight into areas around the dock ward.
Specifically where the Zentarum would be,
Oh, I definitely want to make sure you don't go where the Zentarum are.
which is...
Well, we'll talk about it. No rush. I love my dock ward. Let me tell you the good news first.
Which is what?
Well,
This
Zoblob.
place.
You want to go to the Zoblob. You gotta go to the Zoblob shop.
What is
Gesundheit.
what's a Zoblog?
Well, if you have to ask, then you've never been there.
It,
That's why I'm telling you gotta go.
you are confusing me. I'm a simple man. What?
So he says, Swabby recommends the Zoblob, the old Zoblob shop.
Not,
Zoblob.
not
The old
new
one,
one.
The old one.
Not the new hipster one.
No.
No.
No, they sold out.
No, the Nobles ruined that one. You want to go to the old Zoblob shop. Yeah,
All organic, gluten-free now.
yeah, organic, gluten-free Zoblob. Nobody likes that. He says that you're going to want to check that out. You're going to want to steer clear of the guard. I mean, if you can't steer clear of the guard, you're probably just going to want to slip them a little forgetful money and just keep on your way. And yeah, I mean, there's some tenements over on Zastro and Filet. You might want to go check that out. I mean, that'll get you to Zablob anyway, but that's a pretty good place. Don't go to the water after dark. Just don't. There's stuff in the water.
All the water?
Well,
Trust
I mean,
the seas.
Are we talking puddles?
I'm saying down at the pier.
All
So
right.
you don't want to go down there. And the thing I'll tell you, like there's this other part of the ward here. You definitely don't ever want to go there. You don't want to go to Candle Lane. You don't.
Candle Lane sounds cool.
Candle Lane's been coming up a lot.
Hey, Kendall Lane, that's where I got me my summer house.
And tattoo.
He just looks at you, narrows his
When I'm
eyes.
in from Chult, when we bring in the rock from the cinnamon.
Land of cinnamon.
The land of
Land of cinnamon. When we return from our cinnamon voyage, we stay up on Candle Lane in our villa.
Yeah.
It's very fancy. I've got a tree. Sorry!
I don't think I like you a whole lot.
All
You're
right,
silly.
Let's go.
Oh,
Let's go.
I'm silly.
He says Candle Lane is it's not really a place where you want to go. It's definitely not a place where you want to spend a whole lot of time. And you really don't want to be looking at the ground while you're there. So you should just really just not go there. You're better off if you don't.
We have to avoid water and ground.
Don't go to the pier. And don't look at the ground on Candle Lane.
All we have left is air and fire. So we got to like burn ourselves through or something. Well, I think our cinnamon ship's leaving right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, I hear it. I hear it ringing for us.
Is that the noise?
That's
that
the sign
poor guy-
for the cinnamon people
Yeah.
to go back to work.
Cinnamon.
I can smell it in the air.
I can
So-
feel it in the air. I can taste it in the water.
What do we want to do from here?
We want to go to Candle Lane.
Would I
Candle Lane
know?
sounds really cool.
It does.
Since
Let's go.
I have a little bit of local knowledge, geography-wise, would I know that if Volo and this noble friend of his were leaving this tavern, that Candle Lane would be on the way?
Well, we don't know where they were going. We
Right.
don't know where, like, when
Yeah.
they left. He just said they walked out the door and
Right,
that
but-
was it. So,
Would their houses be on that?
oh, I see
So
what you're saying.
it's
Like,
not
if
really
they were on their
houses
way
here in
home.
the dock ward. This is it's slums.
Right, but-
slums
Yeah.
and tenements
If-
and warehouses.
Where Volo and his princely friend would stay.
Where they might have, well, Volo wouldn't stay out here of his own free will.
Right.
The other guy dressed in noble's clothes. The person they visited was apparently another noble. So this is all very much out of character for them. If I can take some insight around the table.
You can stick our...
I'm so insightful.
Ooh, that's my first good roll.
So we have an 18.
I have a
Magpie.
Oh, 10.
Okay.
19.
19? Good. Otter and Agnes?
10.
10?
15.
Okay, so I'm looking at like 10 as a baseline, right? So you get the core idea here, and that's that the nobles are dramatically out of place. They had you believe that Volo and the two nobles had met here to keep prying eyes away from whatever they wanted to talk about.
Right.
Those of you, the 18 to 19, their purpose, while somewhat wise, had the unfortunate opposite effect. It gathered the attention of exactly the wrong people. With the information that you've gotten here, you've got a couple of leads. You have some things to think about, right?
Candle Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Can we
Candle Lane sounds
do
really cool.
Zentrum thugs? Do we know anything about them?
You know that the Zentarum are a mostly criminal organization here in the realms. They can also serve as somewhat effective mercenaries, depending on how tightly you write their contract.
Yeah. No loopholes. They're like genies.
Right? Oh, that's not what the contract said, buddy. But the Zentarum, I mean, they've built a name for themselves, and they support that with their pretty cutthroat actions. They are very much a self-serving organization. Not every man for themselves, but you know, the Zentarum, the Black Blade before the rest of the world, essentially. So if the Zentarum are watching Volo and the nobles, that's a potential problem.
Right.
Well, he said that, well, we wouldn't be able to share this information yet because we
Right.
haven't had a private moment.
We should leave.
I agree. Yes.
Let's go!
We step outside. Okay, now what you were saying.
Yes. It's clear they went towards Candle.
If
Lane
anyone
and
follows
trouble
us,
found them.
we're very powerful.
Not fancy at all.
Yeah,
Not fancy.
we live.
There's
in,
a
As you're
chorus.
saying that, I'm like dropping my prestidigitation, and I'm like,
There's-
no, not fancy.
There's a chorus of laughter from everyone in there.
That's laughter of terror.
Yeah.
When we get outside, I want to take a quick glance around. Are there any obviously homeless individuals meandering about that looks like they hang out in this area?
It's the dock where everyone looks homeless.
Is there anybody with like a small like I'm looking for someone that looks like they like live in a box
Like
on the
his
side of the
boxes,
road?
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
If you scout around and you spend time peering down alleys and stuff, you probably could.
Because my idea is that like while we're on our way to Candle Lane, if we see someone who looks like they probably could have been here, be like, hey, here's a copper piece, which is a lot of money for you.
Sure.
Food.
Yeah, here's a loaf of bread and a copper
stuff.
piece because we are very.
I didn't pack
Rich
any loaves
people.
of bread in my inventory.
I got
We'll get it on the
hardtack
ship
oranges.
when we go back to
Alright.
Chilton.
Cinnamon, you guys.
Go back to
Yeah.
getting your
I have a
cinnamon.
lot
Yeah,
of
we just
cinnamon in my
inhaled
inventory.
cinnamon. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a cinnamon challenge.
It's
Ship.
just-
Yeah.
This trope is getting way out of control.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, like look for like someone like that who maybe would have been around when that happened to see if we can get a little bit more of insight if they did even come down this way,
Right.
or if this is just not necessarily a dead end, but like a separate lead.
Is there a clear pathway towards Candle Lane, like a main street that we know,
You're-
we guessing
you're
they
not-
would have taken?
So the roads in the dock ward, the streets are pretty tight, and it's not a grid layout. Like, it's all pretty haphazard and ramshackle. You can find your way to Candle Lane by walking around.
I grew up on the streets and in the docks. Like I have the like urchin
Yes.
Oh.
city secrets thing.
Did you
so, like,
did you select Waterdeep as your origin?
I couldn't. It wouldn't let me actually like pick.
Then if you
Yeah.
just
Just say yes.
Yeah.
okay.
Your
Huzzah!
Archin background has a feature where you can navigate cities twice as
Yeah.
fast. So
Beautiful.
If you conveniently grew up.
So
I
if you
I would have.
So you took
like,
the urchin background. If you're saying that Waterdeep is where you grew up, then you know where Candle Lane is.
Yeah.
You know that Candle Lane has a reputation of not good things.
Yeah, and I know why you don't want to look at the ground. No.
It's because it makes
Make
funny
me an insight
faces
check.
at you.
I want to know.
I was not aware that you did the urchin
I
thing.
only got
My
11.
apologies. Okay, so you have actually you have advantage on this because it fits in your background. So roll it again.
That's a 20. Isn't that the symbol? Yeah, that's a 20.
Yeah.
That's a crit.
Okay, great. So when he was saying like don't look at the ground and all that, it's because some of the organizations here in the city, whether that's the Xanathar Guild or the Zentarum or whatever, like the city guard will look for things on buildings. They'll look for signs and
Markings
symbols.
and-
They generally don't look at marks on the stones. So if there are signs and sigils to pass around, it's a good clandestine way to pass that. And as an urchin, that's something that you had probably worked out with some of your peers as well. Like, hey, if I put this symbol here, like there's a warm, dry crawl space, or there's
Yeah.
food available over
Yeah.
here.
Like a
Easy
charcoal
target.
stick with some
Yeah.
parchment.
Yep.
Not so easy.
Easy target,
Every
exactly. That's
single
where it's
cobblestone. What are you doing? Nothing. We were gonna get parchment and crayons and do some rubbing.
Sketching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that, it sounds like we have a couple of things to think about. You have someone who's familiar with the streets here. Trisha, you are somewhat familiar with the old Zablob shop. The old Zablob shop is
Not the new one so much as the old
Not the new one so much as the old one. But the shop is it's known as a trinket and curio shop. It is here in the dock ward, so it has items of curious origin.
Items of curious origin.
Yes.
Ah.
It is one of the few quasi-reputable businesses here in the dock ward.
Would you relay this information to us, your
Absolutely.
loving party members?
Yeah, absolutely.
That said,
So-
why don't we take this as an opportunity to stand up and take a break, get up, stretch, do our thing, hit the restroom.
Excellent, good time.
So it is it's 24 after. Let's meet back at 35 after. So just about 10 minutes.
Perfect.
Plan.
Cool.
Cool.
Mr. Mike, you got us. Cool.
Yay!
Yay!
Make sure that goes to break.
Oh, Sawdust's little tail.
Yeah. He's been sleeping at our feet this entire time. He's been passed out like drooling on her shoes.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm enjoying it a lot.
Oh, he's so,
So,
cute.
what do you? Let me see your character sheet.
All right. So we had a short break. Looks like we are back. We had a couple options to mull over as we went into the little delay there.
Yes.
What,
I think
what are we
we're going to
thinking?
Candle Lane.
Do we want to defer to the party urchin for leadership?
Oh, yes. Magpie, lead us to victory.
Let's roll.
Can we go over some of the info she knew as I stepped out for one moment?
Yeah, so absolutely. So the reason why you don't want to look at the ground, right, is because we underbelly people, that's where we're putting all of our symbols.
All of your symbols.
Yeah, so you know if this house has money in it, this person's got too many armed guards, where to go if you want to hide.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, and we don't want to look at that.
I'm going to.
Okay.
You don't have to. That's cool.
I probably wouldn't understand it.
Yeah.
It's probably more like you don't want to, like, oh, that's a Zentarum house. Don't go messing with that house kind of deal. Like, you don't want to have your nose in something you don't want your nose to be.
You also have the other bit of information about the shop.
Oh,
Zablobs.
yeah, that's right. It's like a bunch of trinkets and curiosities and stuff. I'm sure we'll be able to find
Be cool.
something
I'm
useful.
an oddity shop. I've got money to blow, so.
It is
I got
interesting
9
that-
gold dragons.
Yeah.
It is interesting that he pointed that out repeatedly. Swati.
Suave.
Is he giving us
I
some
mean,
information?
That
Is
guy
that
gets a
lead?
hold of everything in the city.
I bet you
so-
he like works part-time for Zablob under commission, so like if he gets referrals, he gets extra store credit.
Make an insight check.
Sure. I will not make that inside check, sir.
What'd you get?
A 1.
Okay.
For 5 total. 5 total.
Okay. Yeah. So 5. Your guessing is that it has something to do with the fact that Zablob is a whole lot of fun to say when you're drunk.
Nice.
My kind of guy.
It's not wrong.
I don't know if that's the result of my 5 or
Yeah,
if
that's the result
just
of the
true.
5.
Right.
Words are fun when you're drunk. And Swabby was real drunk.
Good.
Yeah, he was. I miss Swabby already.
Swabby with his wooden eye and 3.5 fingers.
Yeah.
Every
might find the other
character that
fingers
has
in the
made a
shop.
difference in this campaign has been an NPC. Just so we're clear, like everyone that we're excited. Yeah. And your rat.
Am I right?
And your rat. Or
Yeah.
your mouse. Is it a rat?
It's a rat. It's a rat.
It's a rouse.
How dare you call it a mouse?
I
Yeah, so much bigger than that.
All right.
Are we going
We're ready.
to Candle Lane or are we
Yeah.
going to go buy trinkets?
Is Zablob
It's like on Candle Lane. It's like by it.
By it?
Okay.
Okay.
It's
So,
near Candling.
Yeah.
I would say we hit both, and I'd say that it really doesn't matter which one we do first. I don't think.
Sounds good to me.
Whichever
It
one
is not a
is.
time for trinkets.
Yeah, whichever one would be in order to walk by first, I suppose, would be probably the logical.
Well, your urchin can lead you pretty much wherever.
Yeah.
As long as you're all small enough to like crawl under the broken walls and through the missing stones and stuff.
Ah, yes, our Goliath.
The Goliath and the Half-Orc may slow process a little bit there.
You know, if you take your arms off and your legs off
The troll
and your
triangles.
head off, yeah, go back to the troll. Well, do you think you could lead us there, not through the cracks in the alleyways,
Yeah.
so that our other larger
Yeah, we'll take
friends?
the long way.
Okay, we'll take the
Fine.
scenic route.
Scenic route.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's just what I am.
You didn't want to.
Yeah.
I am what I am.
We have to take.
Always goes back
now
to
we
I
have
always
to
goes
take
back to
the road.
sailor.
Cool. All right, to Candle Lane.
Let's go.
Huzzah.
Going by the shop first, or going?
No, we're going straight to Candle Lane first. We'll hit the shop after.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. The buildings on either side of Candle Lane are very tall, very tightly packed together. That gives this whole stretch that sense of permanent shadow, right? Only like high sun is gonna be able to get natural light down into here. Hence, Candle Lane. Candles give you your only illumination. Gloom envelops a narrow alley as dark as a dungeon, and as odorous as one too. Nearly all the street lamps have been smashed. The only light that pierces the darkness is a faint flickering from down the lane, like a distant candle. Looks like there's just one street lamp still intact.
I like that everyone in this area collectively got together and decided that one was gonna live.
Just that one.
Just that one.
It's
Not
it's time to light
Candles
the candle.
Lane. It's
Yeah.
Candle Lane.
Keep your tools accessible, gang. There might be trouble.
Yeah, and we don't have much light left, like in the day, so
I would
Yeah, what
say
time is it?
you're a Gnome.
I'm a Gnome.
Do you see in the dark
I
well?
do have dark vision.
We should send Gnome and Rogu down to do espionage.
Yep.
Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Is no.
That's funny.
Oh, recon.
Yeah, recon.
Reconnaissance.
We are now
Espionage.
super featured space warriors doing recon missions
Who else has dark
down
vision?
Candle Lane instead of being pirates.
Marcellus, you have dark
I
vision?
don't have.
I
Well, it's
totally
half up, or-
think I have dark
I don't have
vision.
dark vision.
I do not.
But
I
So as for
have dark vision.
So in your time in the tavern
is
and
good.
the fact that it was getting into evening when you got there, it's pretty safe to assume that it is now. It's pretty dark out.
Is you so you're
So-
human.
I'm
Do you have
human.
dark vision?
I do not.
Or
You
do
are-
do? Yeah. So.
You are in basically in early winter. So normally this time of year is cold, but it is unseasonably warm. It's still, at least for our understanding of it, it's like 30 degrees outside, so just below freezing. But normally it would be half that. You have a cold breeze that comes in off the harbor, but it's not comfortable being outside.
Would you say the alley is like dark or dim?
Dark.
It is dark outside,
It is dark?
and it is. Yeah.
Would you guys want to like light a torch and follow behind us,
Yes.
or do you just want to follow behind us?
Yeah.
To
I
I think we need to lighten it up a little
Yeah,
bit.
people carrying torches or items that have like continual light or something on them. Those are common enough, even in the dock ward.
I think we're trying to, as far as I'm concerned, we're trying to attract a little bit of attention as well.
Maybe not quite yet.
Maybe
Maybe once we know
you
you
wanna
want
fit in.
yeah.
Attention.
Yeah. I don't want you guys skulking around here drawing attention, but I also don't want you like.
I have a hooded
Skulls.
lantern.
We're all close.
Yeah, she has a
Yeah.
fire lantern.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what we're gonna like. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
I
gonna
think
fire
Regular
that idea.
lanterns are for losers.
I can.
I said regular lanterns are for losers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Votes for the win.
So Gnome will lead.
Yep. I'm watching the streets for that snake sigil. I have a feeling I'm gonna find that on one of the cobblestones.
Mhm.
I draw her a snake, or we find it in the coloring book, so she knows what she's
So when you say we find it in the coloring book, that means you're brave enough to stick your hands in the spit blot in coloring book.
Ugh, gross.
And I look at you and I
I've
go,
stuck my hands in worse. Let's be real.
you don't know how many road trips that coloring book has lasted us.
Quite a few. it
-3
seems.
actually.
So I think so. What are we doing?
Did you guys want to go like forward and
That's
check
what
it
I
out?
was thinking,
Okay,
yeah.
so but the only thing is then, do you want to take your lantern or do you just want to
yeah.
like kind of follow real close behind her because then he's in the dark unless we wanted to like another
I
one.
can cast light on myself.
Oh, you can cast.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, so then yeah, you guys go forward. You take your hooded lantern. I would say even you go like 10, 15 feet ahead of her, and then you follow behind.
Yep.
So she'll kind because she sees in the dark, so she has like nothing on her.
Okay.
And then
I don't want to space too far out.
I figured that
10, 15.
she can go up. She can do the next 15, and then as a group, the three of us
Sure.
can just follow because they're sort of scouting out ahead, and then we want to be close enough that if something happened within an
Right.
instant, we could be on top of whatever it is. So, yeah.
Perfect.
All right, cool. Let's do that.
Sounds good.
That's what we're doing.
Okay.
All right.
Sweet.
Cool.
You do a thing.
All right.
There's
Awesome.
something
Thanks,
happen.
guys. Have a good night.
Things
So-
happen. Rocks fall.
I'm gonna have
in,
my
in the
eyes.
city.
Best adventure
I don't know
ever.
about you guys. I'm gonna have my eyes peeled to the ground. By the way, I had the cool cloak, my cool rope cloak.
The
Put that.
interpretive dance club.
Yeah. I do this when I put up my foot too.
Oh,
Evidently
Madonna.
terribly
Scratch.
windy here as well.
And I have my hooded lantern. I put it like real low,
Mm.
and
There's
then
like a beam.
I'm like creeping down after you, and I'm like. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So I'm singing my own theme song. Which, by the way,
That's fantastic.
rule 19.
Rule 19, always
Have a
have a
theme
theme song.
song. Yep.
Nice.
So
Which one of
let
those
me know
rules
the
says
way.
don't sing your theme song while you're sneaking down the alleyway?
None of the
She's a
rules.
good
None
say
of the
that. I
rules
just
say
don't
that.
know that rule.
None of the rules say be discreet.
No.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's rule
so-
19.
Consult the code legal. Is discretion one of the laws? I don't think so.
For a second, I was like, oh, which one are we consulting? But yeah. All right. So we're scout, or you're scout.
Can I
Y'all is scout.
roll to see if I find the symbol as I?
Well, are you letting the urchin go forward? It kind of sounds like that's what you were doing.
Yeah, let her
Yeah.
go. She knows.
Because
more
if she
too.
knows the streets,
I'm gonna find that. No, I'm not gonna find it this time. I rolled a 2.
you've got regular vision, right? No dark vision, no nothing.
I have dark vision.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Okay. So you don't need to roll.
Oh,
You're fine.
yeah.
Oh,
You
okay.
know the streets. You know what
I
you're
know
looking
the
for.
streets.
This is.
I'm gonna find that snake sigil.
It's not so much that you find a snake sigil. You
I like the declaration though.
I'm getting there.
I killed the troll.
Well, you don't just kill.
A lot of
So-
confidence.
as you're all walking through and slowly making your way down Candle Lane, you do see some markings here from other urchins and other homeless environment folks that indicate that you're getting to the end of safe territory. Beyond this, it's owned. The land ahead is owned by another organization.
What organization?
There's a stylized S with some slashes through it, which is the very quick way of marking down a segmented creature, or a creature with a pattern of scales, so to say.
Where did you find it?
The very end of the lane.
But does it mean actual?
Well, it's not necessarily
literal
at
snake?
the end of the lane. You're seeing that this is marked, showing that space
This
beyond
space.
this is owned by a group.
I take my toe and I put it over the line. I'm gonna bring it back,
Sure.
just to prove that I could.
Right. You're an instigator.
Yeah. I like do that. And I'm like, nothing. That's what I thought.
That's right. So you don't see a snake symbol, but you do see indication of like someone owns this neighborhood.
And I would say we're still like a solid 30 feet behind them at this point.
Yeah.
Just sort of waiting for a signal or
Do
something.
we stop as they stop?
Yeah. Oh yeah, this
Don't
is
slow tracks
Scooby-Doo
at all.
style.
Yeah.
TNT.
Yeah.
If they
Everyone
go
just
in
kinda
one
bounces
door,
into
we're
each
coming
other.
out another one.
Yeah. Magpie, what do you think?
I mean, I would go beyond this. I would.
Oh, we're gonna go beyond.
I'm,
Let's be honest with ourselves.
I'm actually gonna take the time to draw that sigil on my skin as if it were a tattoo, just in case.
That's a good idea.
It's
Yeah.
real
Also,
basic.
I totally
Yeah.
steal that idea as
Like-
well.
You start doing
So
the
then-
exact
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
thing.
So then at least if one of us gets caught, I can just claim I was like a slave or an indentured servant. And
Wait, you're drawing the symbol on your
On my
skin.
skin.
Where are you drawing?
on my arm.
On your arm. Where are you drawing
Boom.
the symbol?
Forehead.
What?
Forehead.
On your okay. Awesome.
What do you
So
mean?
that I can cover it.
Oh, so that you can
Oh,
cover it. Okay.
okay.
I look. Okay, awesome.
And then
So now there's a smudge all over Agnes's
Yeah.
face.
And then I'm willing to cross the line. I'm
Okay.
willing to go into this territory. I don't know who wants to follow me. If you're all willing to.
Yes.
Well, if you don't say anything, like you might have stopped and looked at something, but unless you're like, "Hey, I found this," and da 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 da,
And-
we're probably just gonna be like, "All right, just let us know when."
All right,
Just keep
so
walking.
I mean, I'm sitting there drawing while you guys are walking up. You're with me though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
right
caught
next
up to
me.
you.
So do you want to go back and tell the others? Do we all go in as a group?
I'll go back. I think we should go in as a group, but I'll go back and tell the others.
Fair.
You guys have to whisper.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna stay here. We are
All right,
whispering.
so
Stage
it's probably
whisper.
great for our audience.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're whispering.
Listen to this.
So I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna like
With the
all the
theme
way
music,
back.
right?
Yep.
Get back
so
to us. What is wrong with you?
We
Why are
found-
you doing that?
we found
I have that song in my head forever.
We found the snake symbol. You're gonna need to draw it on your body. Don't draw it on your face. It has to
Why?
be covered because you want to cover it.
No,
I
but-
don't know why.
Why? Would
I'm not the expert urchin here.
So you're coming back to tell us to draw the snake symbol on our
So-
bodies.
But we don't know what it looks like.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you redraw it on your
Yeah,
body?
it's on her. She drew it on her.
Or did you just smudge it on your face and that was it?
If you could picture this, but like if it wasn't so,
That is terribly smudged.
I'll show it to you.
I'm assuming
So-
you're saying that like room
I
volume.
am-
That's
No one told me to
smudge.
whisper.
Then
So yeah, I'll bring you to the spot so
The
you
spot.
guys can. Except for you, I'll like just reach up and be like,
I have markings all over me.
hey, you're hopeless.
I'm going to not quite yet draw on myself. Thanks.
All right, well if you don't want to be one of the cool kids, then.
Yeah.
Oh, by
I
the
get
way,
one of my crayons out of the cow's bag and color.
Why do I keep your crayons in my
Because
bag?
otherwise I would eat them.
Are you telling me I have like a diaper bag? I am a fancy tiefling boy who is apparently carrying around what must be a Prada diaper bag. Faerunian Prada. Okay, so we catch up.
yep, so
Courtesy
we
of
catch
Volo.
up.
Yeah, we catch up.
It's a Fei Chen enterprise.
Fei Chen. Oh gosh, not Fei Chen too. I don't think in the like 4 seconds it took us to walk that I would have actually like taken the initiative to draw on myself.
Well, you also don't know what it looks like.
Yeah, I also
Because
just
I
see
did a
like
terrible
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this.
yeah. I'm assuming you like put a big black blob on your face and just
Yeah,
like, did
it's.
this. So yeah, so we catch up. Are you
Mhm.
waiting for us? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of like watching, waiting.
So we've recongregated.
Mhm.
Why do we need to draw this on our bodies?
Because we're about. So explain you're about to actually cross into like almost not enemy territory. For me, probably enemy territory, but for you guys, you should be fine-ish. It's a dangerous area. They're in control of city blocks. So you see the symbol.
Can we, like, I think I remember at the Skewer Dragon they mentioned the snake symbol, and then they like mentioned the Zent in the same
Yes.
breath. Is that like 2 and 2? Like
Yes.
we could put that together pretty
Yes.
easily. Okay,
Yeah.
so that is the people. Okay,
Zentara.
the Zentarum. Zentarum, yes. So these are bad boys who we assume that they have something to do with Volo's disappearance at this point. Or no, we were
Volo's not the one that disappeared.
or I'm sorry, Flume.
Yeah, I think they were the people that followed him out of the bar.
Were
Were probably those.
Zents.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm guessing
We
they're
should
not
have
gonna.
a nickname for them that sounds stupid, so we're not so scared.
Z's.
Jeez.
That's
I'm
like
not
what
gonna-
they call. That's what they or Zeeks. That's what they call like zombies in like really bad zombie novels. They call them like Zeeks or Z's or Walkers.
Yeah.
We'll call them Walkers.
All right, walkers.
Walkers.
Yeah,
I
we're
don't
not
think
afraid
they're
of
gonna
walkers.
I'm not
buy
afraid of
that we're
walkers.
a part of their gang.
No, I mean,
It's on our bodies.
Just
I don't
it's
appreciate
slave.
you
It's like
ruining my
it's like a
illusion.
brander mark. I was imagining like with cows and stuff. It's like it's not. You're not part of the game.
Please
you're
do not
owned.
mention branding cows next to
I-
my orc friend, who is much stronger than I
Branding?
and interprets me as a cow. I would like to not be branded.
Oh, cows should be branded?
And then I think that we should bowling ball up the gnome, toss you down,
Do it.
see what happens. Oh,
Yeah.
we bowling ball up the gnome and toss you down. Yeah.
Wait, are we gonna roll her down the street?
Yeah. Oh well, I wasn't being serious, but if she's all for it, I mean,
What do you mean?
no, we have to
Just
creep.
trying to figure out where your head's at
We
right
creep.
now at this
We
point.
creep. We creep.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo style.
All right, let's
we
creep
should all. We
Scooby-Doo
should
style.
all. We should all keyword stealth
I am
down
Yeah.
this.
Keyword stealth.
Keyword stealth.
Keyword
yes.
stealth.
Can we keyword roll
I am
yourself?
Is that like
much
a
of a
is that like a monk thing?
stealth.
Yes.
Power
It's
not much of a
actually,
stealther.
my character abilities allow me to give everyone the feat stealth.
Oh.
And then that's when I say keyword stealth, and that's like a reminder that we should
This is
maybe
amazing.
do a group stealth check if that's
See that on
possible.
Dragon Plus.
Yeah, right.
Because it's getting spoopy down here.
Oh.
So yeah, because before we were just kind of like trying to be quiet, but let's like actually mechanically try to be quiet
I
now.
know we're doing all this bickering at the end of the
mechanically
alley.
try my best.
No, no, this is not something
It's
that we
not
would
really
have been
bickering.
smart enough.
Yeah.
Oh, I imagine it's devolved into like loud mouth talking at this point. Like we were like, okay, everyone shut up, and then we're like, all right, so what are you getting for lunch? But yeah, let's. I wanna roll stealth specifically.
Are we stealthing?
We do want to.
Oh my gosh.
Can we all group
Hey guys.
I will try.
stealth? Group stealth.
I will try and group stealth.
Okay. What are you wearing? What type of armor are you wearing?
Chain shirt.
Chain shirt. Okay.
Mhm.
What type of armor are you wearing?
Oh, heck if I remember. Heavy.
Heavy. Okay, so you are not sneaky in any capacity.
Perfectly sneaky, and she'll tell you all about it.
I'm gonna. So before we do this, we're stealthing, right? So before we do this, rule number 4: when stealthing, always wear a mask.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put on a mask.
So when you keyword stealth, you don a mask.
Yeah, it's sweet. It's an upgrade.
Can it be a different mask every time?
Oh, yes.
Okay, awesome.
I
Great.
have endless masks in my backpack.
You're like, I got masks.
Yeah.
So
I
let's.
actually have
I
a
it's
mask.
chained, but yes.
It's chained. Okay. Well then, so you guys. Are
Anyone
not-
else need a mask?
I do not
anyone?
require a
All right,
mask to
you're all
stealth.
right,
I think
fine.
regardless,
My
we'd all
trinket
probably
is a
still
small
be trying to
mask.
be quiet. So.
So
mechanically
we've
stealth.
identified that we're going to stealth in.
Yes, 15 minutes later, we are going to do stealth check. We figured it out.
After making an appropriate level of noise at the end of the episode, we're going to stealth forward.
Everyone ready to stealth?
All right.
You sneak, you sneak, you sneak. So we
I
got
sneak
masks,
good.
yes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. We got
Sure.
masks.
Mine's
We've got
a,
masks.
the red bandana, like bandito mask.
Oh, I really was hoping we'd all get like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, just like bands that are different colors.
Oh yeah, well, it's all different. Everyone's got a different one.
Like red,
Okay,
and blue, and
yeah,
orange,
we have-
and green,
okay.
and plaid.
This is
Yeah.
really important to the story. What color do you pick?
My trinket
Oh.
on the background is
Yeah.
actually a small mask
Oh.
with a tragic face made
Oh.
for a woman, which I put barely on my face like this.
It covers like
it
two-thirds
just
of it.
covers
Of
your
course I've
features,
got a
yeah.
mask on me.
Oh, that's absolutely terrifying. It's like some like Ghibli
There's-
studio like awful, yeah.
There's a face on your face.
Mine's blue, because
Okay.
Leonardo, let's be serious.
Okay.
Mhm.
My mask is purple
Black.
because I'm fabulous
That's pretty good.
and it matches my clothes.
It's a rich color.
It's a rich color. It's the color of royalty.
Mhm.
And yours is black.
Just black.
All right. Maybe this will be the accent I adapt for
I'm
him.
so excited that you guys got
I
on
like
board with
bright
my
yellow.
mask idea.
Bright
Right, yellow.
And what is it?
Yellow.
Is it colored with crayons? Like it used to be black.
I also
and now it's
imagine
bright
that,
yellow
like we're
crayon
all
over
pulling
top.
out these like awesome masks, and then you're like, I found this piece of cloth on the ground next to that other yellow spot of snow. Let's go. We're in.
I was kind of waiting for someone to be like, I put this on, and then Otter makes continual light.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Can we turn off your continual
We can
light?
turn it off.
Okay.
Just
No,
like the name,
wait. Let's
continual light.
pretend we didn't notice that. Let's all put these masks on
Yeah.
ourselves, and then we walk down there, and the Goliath's got his shield with light on, like, hello, we've arrived.
How will we see the masks?
Yeah.
They're not well
How
lit.
will the bad guys know that we're sneaking if they can't see our masks? Okay.
I love that
So-
this 15 minutes
Yes.
of stealth-worthy talk
Yes.
is going to be ruined by my role here
I
shortly.
got 18.
Yeah. Are we actually?
Remember,
Let's
if you're in
make
heavy
annually
armor,
roll
you're
for
I
just-
rolled a
stuff.
20.
I rolled a 12.
Crackle pop. I rolled a rice.
I
Krispie.
stealth the crap out.
I missed
Look
it.
in the player's handbook.
Remember.
So, we are stealthing our way
Shane,
down.
remember.
We've got masks. We're totally prepared for this. We've turned off our continual light. And as you make your way down the alley, you pass by a couple other marks. Magpie?
Why do you put me
see,
in charge?
You see a couple other marks on the pavement, and eventually these marks go from like warning that the upcoming territory is owned by a group to actually being that stylized serpent sigil stamped into the ground. It's full of dirt and grime, but it looks pretty explicitly placed, right? Purposefully. They are angled in such a way that it sort of directs your attention to a two-story building just on the north side of the street. There's a small fenced-in yard. The windows all look like they've been busted out and then boarded over. You don't really see any lights on the inside, but you have a feeling that the sigils here are sort of pointing you in that direction.
Well, guys, I think this is our space.
Is the door, or is the like gate on like hinges like falling off like in the wind kind of deal?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's not like we have to like
There's-
break into the fence or anything.
No,
Just,
the
like,
little fenced-in yard spot, the receiving yard is basically what it is. That's open. The fence you could climb over. The gate looks like it's half on, half off. The doors on the other side are all sealed up. Not like boarded over, but the doors are closed.
I think that we send in Gnome and Rogu,
That sounds good.
which are their super secret mask wearing code
Yeah.
names. And
I turn into Rague.
Rague, yes, yes. Oh gosh, this is devolving quite quickly. We'll let you guys go in, do a little bit more recon.
Okay.
Make the let us know it's good.
Okay.
All right.
Stealthfully.
You take,
Stealthily, yes.
you take left, I'll take right?
Yep.
Alright.
I imagine you both go left.
So
No, you're
at
left.
this
You're
point,
left.
bear in mind that Candle Lane is essentially an alley, so there's no space between the buildings. You can see where the building styles change, but there's no like flanking around the building or anything here because it's just part of one long continuous construction.
Okay, so there's not like
So we're
edges
both
we're
up
worrying
in that
about.
fence.
It's we have a fence that is like against the road that we're walking on. We have a small piece of yard, and there is like then the building that is also like touching these other buildings.
Correct.
Okay, so it's basically
Okay.
like, yeah. Do we want to like scout this like 15 by 15 cube of yard, or do we want to like?
Let's move forward. And,
Are the windows lit?
You guys can each recon a window.
yeah.
The board
Are there windows?
Not at the ground level.
Okay. Of course.
Up at
So
the
what, it's
up at the
just a
second
door?
floor,
I can throw things.
up towards the second floor, it looks like there were windows, but they've been boarded over.
Oh, it sounds
the
like that's
glass
where
has
we
been
supposed.
busted out.
That's where we're supposed to throw the
Second,
gnome.
Yeah, second story.
On the second floor, we have
So
the
I
orc
can get into a
launch the
window up
gnome.
there. Is there
Yeah.
any just busting in without boards?
There's boards in the way. You'd have to get the boards out of the way to get into the building.
That sounds louder than.
She's also
Just
like
walking in.
really tiny though.
Yeah, I'm like 40
Oh come on,
pounds
we
or
cannot
something.
just walk up and open the door.
I walk up
We
and
are-
I open the door.
We are adventurers. We have to burn this place to the ground before we try the door. I guess we could just try the door.
We could knock.
Yeah, no.
No.
Gnome.
Good no.
No. Shit.
What are you thinking?
I almost just want her to throw me onto the roof, but I don't know if she can actually throw me all the way onto the roof.
Is the door to the house like attached?
Yeah.
Did you say that?
Yeah.
And it's closed?
It's closed, but it's there.
Why don't we go listen
will.
up to the door? Listen to the door.
I was gonna say I do think, despite my better judgment, that someone should just try the front door, even though my adventure sense is telling me that the only way to enter this building is by launching the gnome onto the second floor
that's
through a window.
Yeah.
And I did not mean like launch her up there so that she's like there and she can like take like
throw
throw her
the
so
window.
hard
Yeah.
she crashes through the window.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's what we want to do, I'm certainly interested.
In touching the door or being launched onto the
No,
second
in
floor?
watching
Launching,
how your
okay.
idea of launching through boards works out.
Can we please maybe just listen at the door?
Yeah.
I really
before
like the idea
launching
that
the
Otter
gnome?
gets tired of us talking about this and just goes and does it himself. It's like,
So-
doon, doon, doon.
Bear in mind that you're having this conversation
Oh, yeah, no.
At the gate?
at the gate.
Yep.
In what is a quiet, mostly deserted alley.
And we also, like, put on masks and we're creeping. Like, we're totally, we look like bad guys with a bad, yeah.
No, that's cool. Roll stealth. That's fine.
Okay, I look at Otter.
What?
Go check the door.
I will go check.
If
Me going first went so well last time.
If something happens, he can beef it. He's got more body mass than the rest of us combined.
Use
I'm looking at Astrid. I'm like,
We
Are we
don't.
forgetting that he's the cleric?
Huh? Yeah. We always
so
send
he
the
can heal
cleric in
himself when it
first.
goes wrong.
Astrid, will you join me in walking up to the door?
Will you guys hold hands?
Hugs.
Hugs. You have to give my
I
hand
haven't hugged
hug.
you yet.
Wait, hug him after.
We're she's
hugging
putting you
him
on.
now.
We will both walk up to the door and give it a listen.
Sure. You quietly walk up there.
Put my big gray ear on the door.
The two
Okay.
people that cannot roll stealth.
Make me a
They roll
perception
stealth
check.
at
You're
disadvantage.
listening through a door, so this is disadvantage. Doors aren't known for
You
They're
should-
rolling so well
You should try to
anyways.
open the door and then listen to what's on the other side.
We should go.
Perception
Oh.
disadvantage.
18 and a 17
Ooh.
for a 21 with disadvantage.
Nice.
I got a 19 and a 14.
Okay.
I've been listening to them so long. My hearing is extra.
Because we're still whispering like this.
So, you hear a door.
You hear a door.
You hear the door.
Oh.
You hear the
We're
ambient
transcending.
sounds of the alley in the city behind you. You don't really
I don't think-
hear much of
I know,
anything
I don't
else.
have place rules for that.
You catch a faint, like, almost sounds like something had toppled over on the inside. Nothing super heavy. It just sounds like something, like there was a small scrape or a bump. Something fell over.
Interesting.
But it's very, very faint. She didn't hear it.
Right.
You.
And it was like an instance, so it didn't go on.
Nope.
It
Just one.
Sounds like wood.
Guys, what do you think?
Something's definitely
All right, let's
in
creep
there.
up to where they are. So
Are we gonna
have
get
us-
impatient?
Yeah, let's get
impatient.
impatient.
All of a sudden, we're behind you guys. Hey, did you hear anything?
Something's moving in there.
Oh, you
it
should-
could be.
Go check it out.
Oh, does anyone
It
have
could just be a rat, but it doesn't sound like.
It's not my rat.
But it could be your rat. Send your rat in.
Yeah, send your rat in.
What are we doing? We're smart cookies.
I think we should just go in.
We could have launched the rat onto the
should have
second
launched the
floor, and then it
I'm
could have come down and unlocked the door.
I'm gonna quietly turn the knob.
Oh, I get
Not to
away
open
from
the
the
door,
door.
but just to see if it turns.
So to
it's free
just to,
turning.
like gently test it.
Yeah.
It does turn, but it does not open. You get the impression that it's locked.
Oh.
Yes.
I have a hammer.
I can pick locks. How cold? What's the temperature? Because I can only do it if it's above a certain temperature.
Hammers are loud.
It's pretty chilly. Why can you only do it when it's?
Rule number 16. It's hard to pick locks when it's cold out.
Oh my gosh!
So I'm gonna call a quick pause here, guys. You've all been in character very, very well so far. If you do not already have have inspiration, give yourself inspiration. I handed you those coins earlier.
Yeah.
Use those as your inspiration counters.
Yay.
Alright, so I'm going to try to pick the
So
lock.
back at it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to try to pick the lock. It's pretty chilly. It's hard to pick locks when it's cold, but I'm gonna see how that works out.
Sure.
I can't wait to see what other rules she has that like just perfectly align with
And-
whatever the situation
Now,
is.
Agnes, to be clear, you actually have all this written
Yeah,
down?
it's written right here. I'm
Right
looking
here.
at
Do
it.
you wanna hold that up and maybe we can show a camera?
Yeah, so this
real
is just
quick?
the first page. It's 1 to 37. And all of the rules I've stated today are actually just on the first page.
How to
So-
rogue. Lesson 1.
Yeah, how to rogue.
Rule number 1 is excellent. It hasn't come up
Oh.
yet, so I'll
Right, yeah.
We won't spoil that.
We
We'll
won't
save that
I've
for later.
saved rule number 1 for a lot, so
Make it with
That's
the walkers.
fantastic.
yeah. Oh yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna try to pick the lock. Do I get disadvantage? Like, I'm willing to take disadvantage since I do struggle in cold weather. And
If you believe it, I will allow you to assign yourself disadvantage. Generally, mechanically speaking.
Then use
So
your
here's the thing.
inspiration.
Agnes, you can spend your inspiration if you want. So here's the thing: you're a rogue. Right?
yeah.
Rules are more of a guideline.
Okay.
Right.
I'm just gonna, no.
Now, if you want to lean into it and that is your gospel and that's your character choice, you can self-impose disadvantage. That's totally fine. But mechanically speaking, as far as the rule set goes, even if you believe that it's difficult, like it doesn't necessarily have to be mechanically impactful.
All right.
Didn't they give you a pair of fingerless gloves back on Chult? No.
No, it was really warm there.
Oh, right, yeah. Chult warm.
Sprinkle cinnamon on the
All right,
So I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna pick this lock. I'm also like incredibly vocal. Like I'm like while I'm doing it.
Oh.
It's cold, guys. It's really cold. So
Her
I
dice
would
agree that roleplay is very
add
important right
that to. What would I add that to?
You can
Hands.
use, you can use sleight of hands, and then,
Oh, that's not so 7.
then you should have proficiency with it.
7, and it's. I just want to point out it's chilly.
Did you add your proficiency?
Yeah, it's 7 total.
All that on there?
She rolled a 2.
It
I
is,
rolled a
evidently it is a cold lock.
I don't think. So it is. Locked.
It is super cold.
It's so cold.
You
My
have been
grandmother
defeated
knew
by
it.
your eternal nemesis.
So you what? Do you like give up after a minute and like walk away?
I assume that my pick just breaks in the lock.
It was close. Like they're
Yeah.
bent when you pull them out.
Yeah.
You were real close to losing your pick.
I
Yeah, it's
will
not good, guys.
reach into my backpack.
Okay.
I will pull out a crowbar from my adventurer's pack.
Look, an actual lockpick.
Yeah, it's a lockpick as I start slamming it on the door. No, that's not what I do. I hand it to you, and I'm gonna let you slam it on the door.
I have smith tools on. I was a blacksmith before this. Perhaps I could take a look at it and see
I
if
figured she
can-
could just pry the boards off one of the windows.
Yes.
Oh wait, did you
No
say there's none on the
windows.
first floor?
No windows on the first floor.
Yeah.
Well, then, if we've tried to pick it, I say we just crash this sucker down.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
might be able to just.
It's not. It's a warehouse. It's not a house.
Oh.
Like,
I
I get
was
that it
It's
says
a
house
warehouse
in it.
for were creatures.
because we're talking about
And
because
it's
we're
warehouse.
talking about
W-A-R-E,
Scooby-Doo,
not
all I
W-B-R.
pictured was a
Big
haunted
difference.
house.
The house is not alive. Never mind. This is not a house that's going to like transform into a
Well, then
hotel
you
on the
just
full
clip-
moon.
You just clip it and it goes up.
House turns into a what?
Warehouse.
It's like
It's a warehouse. How
a
other
rising
doors?
door. It's not just a walk-in.
There's a regular door right here. Yeah.
Huh? Let's just break it in.
All right. Yeah, I want
We
to see.
said
I
a
really want to see
double
what's
door is
inside.
next to it.
I'm sure
We have
everyone at this
regular
point just
door.
wants us to get
Or
inside
we
the
could
building.
turn around, we go
got
all the
money.
way back to the yawning portal, and that's
Break down the door.
So you want to announce that to your party?
I opened the door.
Excellent.
Oh, okay.
Violently.
Okay.
With the one-time opening.
Perfect.
Did you use my crowbar, or did you just hold it and bodily walk through the door?
Kool-Aid man right through the door.
I could-
I assume it makes a lot
Okay,
of noise.
I kind of go, can I have my crowbar back?
I don't think you get your crowbar
Let's enter.
back.
I thought she was scratching it off of her inventory. All
I thought
right,
she was adding it
Okay.
to her inventory.
the door's open.
So-
We didn't say we wanted to go in.
Oh,
We just wanted to open the door. We can go
Hey,
home now,
there's still
guys.
sound that you can see. So yeah, the door is open. You bashed the whole thing in, so
I helped.
it creaks in. Tables and chairs have been carelessly tossed across the floor. The corpses of a dozen men lie along the walls, their rapiers and daggers nearby. The north side of the area, stairs rise to an open level above. Excuse me.
Are those fresh
Awesome.
corpses?
It all looks pretty fresh.
I'm gonna send the rat
Maybe
up
within
the stairs.
maybe within a day or so.
Not like blood still
Any-
dripping fresh.
I mean, it's all still going to be.
Can you see whatever
Wet
thing
and
is
sticky.
that made that noise? Like, does it look...
Yep. Do I see anything that would have toppled over?
Are you going in the building?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Okay, the rest of you just made it very clear that you're like, I opened the door and stay out in the courtyard.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well.
I didn't say I was going to be the first through the door.
Oh, okay.
After he goes through the door successfully.
Yeah, we all watch what he does.
Yeah. We send the
Or
cleric
I
first,
should say
duh.
what happens to him. Yeah.
All right.
We're really good at protecting our cleric.
All right, so you're gonna walk in.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyone
Those of you
who'd
that
like
are
to
outside,
Join me.
you hear the unmistakable twang of a crossbow.
Traps.
You also see
Oh.
Otter react appropriately.
By ducking it, dodging it quickly.
Well, we'll find out.
Dive,
Dip,
duck,
dip, dive, dodge.
Duck is not one. Yeah, sorry. It took me a second there.
Hopefully it's not die, dodge, die.
Yeah, die.
So there are 2 crossbow bolts that come out for Otter. This also means that we're going to have to go into initiative after this. But the first one is 6 points of piercing damage. The second one is 5 points of piercing damage.
Whew.
I would like to use my Goliath power of stone endurance to, as a reaction, reduce damage dealt to you by 1d12 plus 2.
What is your passive perception?
My passive perception is a 12.
Okay.
14. Sorry, 14.
It's basically treated as a surprise round.
Gotcha.
The 14 is good enough for you to have that reaction, where you wouldn't be totally surprised. You're still hit, but you can use your reaction as we get into this.
Cool.
So go ahead, mark that off to the appropriate effect, and let's go ahead and get initiative out of everybody.
How much was the damage?
6 from the first one, 5 from the second.
Okay, so I took off 7. 6. Okay.
All right, so let's see. Astrid.
19.
Magpie.
17.
Marcellus.
I got a 14.
Agnes.
Also 14.
14. Otter.
A 1.
And a 1. No dex bonus for you?
No dex.
All right.
He actually got a 0. He can't go. He doesn't get to go.
This is the worst.
No, I think my water bottle. No, what is this? See, ours are both, they won't sit flush. Everybody else's screws in flush.
Yeah.
I know. Mine keeps spitting back up on me like I'm a child.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't feel like
They
an
were
idiot now. It's not
Like
just
your
me.
child or like your water bottle?
My water bottle makes me feel like a child.
All right, then maybe our water bottles are dysfunctional.
All
I'll have to like smash them
That's
with
why
a
I keep
hammer.
using yours. It doesn't make me look like an idiot. When I
So
drink
there are a couple of high-pitched voices that come from inside the building. Currently, Otter is the only one that has gone in. Astrid, what are you doing?
I go in.
Okay. When you get in there, you take a look around. The building is about 20-25 feet across and maybe 60 feet long. There are a whole bunch of extra boxes and stuff stacked almost to the ceiling towards the long side there. You don't see anyone immediately. What's your passive perception?
Passive perception? 10.
10. Yeah, you don't see any evidence of anything moving, anyone down there, but considering 2 crossbows just went into him and you heard the voices, adventurer's instincts tell you that something is going on.
And there's, from where it was outside, I could have seen what direction they came from.
You just know they came from the long way down the building.
Okay. I head that way.
Okay. So you can spend your whole movement getting up there. You don't really see anyone else there. Are you just ending turn? Are you like prepping an action?
Yeah, I'll prep a smash for the next. Trying to think of the way to word it.
Because you gotta phrase it.
Because I know you. For the next.
So when you're
angry
ready.
combatant.
Okay, so the next enemy you see, right?
Yeah. I didn't want to say that word because I didn't know if you could construe it differently than I'm intended.
At higher tiers, it gets a little weirder. But for this, it's tier 1, and these are all new characters. So you're going to ready a melee attack
For the next bad guy.
for the next bad guy that comes within melee range, right?
Yes.
Okay. That brings us to Magpie.
Send my rat in to see if you can find any more traps and set them off safely. I'm actually going to hang out outside and make sure that none of the sound of breaking down the door has called anybody to the outside of this. And I will be the last one into this warehouse.
Okay. So you're going to basically ready a move for
Rear
when
guard.
everyone else is already in.
Yeah.
Okay. And your rat, are you connected to the rat in any way? Is it just your body?
It's just my buddy.
Just your body. Okay. All right. Marcellus.
Yes. So there are
Give it an order.
crossbow bows twinging off here, hitting at him, crossbow
Correct.
strings, and I don't see anybody.
Well, you're still out in the courtyard, so no.
No, we were at the door.
Well, the door is in the little courtyard yard
We're still
area.
outside.
Oh, okay. I stepped in the door.
Okay, so you see like piles of boxes and stuff. What's your passive perception?
Ooh. Probably not as good as I want it to be. Passive perception is 12.
Okay, yeah. So there's a pile of boxes. You heard the voices, but couldn't make out what they said. You don't see anybody moving in here.
Okay. That is difficult then. I guess I would. I'm gonna. I don't really want to ready in action because that's what everyone else did. I'm going to thaumaturgy my voice, make it really loud,
Okay.
and I'm going to talk in a very commanding voice that sounds just like this. I'm going to say, "Now, if you all come out, I'll forget that you made the mistake of shooting at us. But if you stay hidden, death and destruction will rain down upon your mortal skulls." As I look as tieflingy as possible and stare into the darkness and scream at nothing.
It's the darkness. You're screaming
Yeah,
at darkness.
I'm screaming at the darkness. I can't see!
I picture you doing this with like a mask on that has a smiley face.
Yeah. My intention is to rile someone up or to like have someone like skip up at the reaction of my voice getting really loud all of a sudden, like surprising someone and having somebody like make a move or do something to tell us where they are instead of them just continuously hiding in the dark.
Okay. Let me make my note. And that one.
The note killed Marcellus.
So, stepping out from behind one of the big piles of stuff, the big piles of boxes, you see this. You have dark vision?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You can see that it looks like a very hairy or possibly a feathered individual. You're not close enough to make out a whole lot of detail, and dark vision is still, I mean, basically everything here is dim.
Yeah.
But you can see the form has its crossbow up, and you can tell that it's looking at you. Light is reflecting somewhere from somewhere. It's reflecting off its eyes, giving it this sort of mirror-like sheen. And you hear your own voice coming back at you. "Mortal souls!" And it fires its crossbow.
Floon, is that you?
Is it by me?
That one is not.
It yells back at me in my own voice.
In your own voice.
Okay.
This just hit you real hard.
Oh, did it?
Creepy.
Ow. How hard?
Well, that was a 20 on my die.
Hard.
That misses, actually.
I politely declined.
Special tiefling thing. Yeah, that's gonna Shrek me, buddy. What are we doing?
Shrek.
That's gonna Shrek me.
That is going to be 9 points of piercing damage.
Ooh! Ha! I'm up. I'm still up with 1. And I go, ow! That really hurt! And all of a sudden, this figure bursts into flames and takes damage.
Hellish Rebuke?
Unless he makes me a dexterity saving throw.
Alright.
I'm sorry, my dex is 13. No, he poops out.
No, I rolled.
That's what I
rolled
like
low.
to hear. Wow! He takes a whopping 4 points of damage
Hey, 4 points.
off of
that's
those 2 die 10. You know. But yeah, so that's what I did.
Mhm.
I did that.
4 off 2d10. Yeah. Big money.
I'm really good at what I do, which is sucking.
With that, as it lights up into flame, you can make out what it looks like.
Oh, bird boy.
That's cool. I feel less.
It's-
We're having chicken for dinner tonight, boys!
Meat's back on the menu.
It sounds and looks just like you.
I take offense. That is a bird. I
It's
am not
it's
a
bird
bird.
person, sir. All right, so that is that. Agnes.
All right, I'm going to come. What? Are you on the ground?
No, I'm standing. I'm
You're
good.
standing?
I'm good.
So I'm going to.
you know,
Are
he
you
doesn't go
facing
down in the
this
first round
monster?
every
I know that's the way it normally goes, but I'm actually standing still.
Would you mayhaps say that my hellish rebuke lit some clothing of this man's on fire?
Sure, yeah.
Cool. So that people can see him and where he's at?
Yeah.
Okay. Stab.
Awesome. So you're standing at the door. I'm going to go into the building, and I'm going to stand behind him and be like, "Yeah, make it rain." I'm going to lean around him and fire my bow.
Okay. Well, you have the one that's on fire. You believe that there's probably more than one in the room, so.
I did not believe that until you just said it, actually.
Well, there were voices that you guys had all heard earlier, so.
All right. Well, I'm going to go for the one on fire.
All right.
Ooh, so it's going to be a short bow. 22.
Yeah, that's good.
Nice.
Oh, I did damage. What do I do now? All right, this. Yes. No.
There's a lot of
Five.
twos going around.
5.
5?
Yeah.
Five
5
more
right
points?
to the beak.
Right to the beak damage.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a new damage type. I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, it's extra
damage.
damage.
Yeah. It's
They're very sensitive around the
it's
nose.
5.5 edition.
Beak
Oh
piercing.
yeah, new
Yeah.
coming out.
Cool. That is a good chunk of damage on that one.
Yes.
So there's another one that steps out. It seems like it's sort of reacting and kind of bouncing away from the currently cooking bird. It does bounce it into melee reach of our friend the half-orc here.
I'm a friend.
Smash!
Hug it
It's a
to
little
death.
bit off kilter. It's holding a short sword in one feathered hand.
21.
Yeah, AC 21's good.
11.
11? Okay. And it is actually going to swing at you with its short sword. As it does, we are looking at an AC of 18, and it's saying in Marcellus' voice, "Now if you all come out."
I hate birds.
I was scared for a moment that like the bird is gonna start talking and saying for you to do things, and you're gonna listen to the bird. And not
7 points of piercing damage from the weapon. And that brings out a third one who comes bouncing out into the room, basically erupting from the top of one of the stacks, cackling out, "Death and destruction!"
yeah. At this point, I think Marcellus starts
That's how you're
screaming. What is going on? I'm so confused.
It fires a bolt at Marcellus and misses.
Okay, good. Good. I'm glad that it missed me.
And that brings us to Otter.
I will look at Marcellus and say, Amanada blesses you. Casting Healing Word
Yeet.
as a bonus action.
Okay.
And you get, so there's no D4.
Oh, right. She's a 1, right?
I don't know exactly, but
I am at 1.
not for long. You are now at 6.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna be like, we're now at 2.
I know, I thought so too. And attack the one that's closest to me.
Yeah, you.
Move if I must.
There's one right here next to the half orc.
I will take my Morning Star at its face
Okay.
for a 12.
AC of 12.
Yeah.
Is not going to connect.
Okay.
They're a little more nimble than that. It's close though. There is one in the far back of the room. You have a passive perception of what?
14.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So as it lines up a shot, you can kind of make out that it's aiming at you, so it does not actually have surprise or have advantage on you. AC of 13.
Nope.
Okay. So that shot goes wide, and your passive perception was just 10.
10.
Yeah. So the final one takes a shot. It has advantage on the roll, which does not actually give it anything else. 5 points of crossbow flavored piercing damage.
I'm down.
That was our tank.
And that brings
No,
us.
the cleric's everything, remember?
That's actually going to bring us to death save from the half orc.
That was quick.
1 save.
Okay, Magpie. Everyone had gone in, so was your ready action to move into the room
Yep,
at that
I'm
point?
running in.
Yeah, so you're in the room. Start your turn.
What's your health at?
I'm
Got
at
you.
6,
What are you at?
I'm at 6.
but our half-orc friend just went down.
And so, but I can't use healing words on her if she's already down, right?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you
I
can.
can.
Yeah, because it'll just heal her from 0.
Then we're gonna do that. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a
It's
good
just a
idea.
bonus action.
Yeah, so you can do that, and then you could still, like, if you wanted to, like, stab something or, like, run in and try to do something else, you could still do something else because it's a bonus action.
All right. So this is what you're getting. How the fuck am I
It's a one.
supposed to read that? Fantastic. My apologies for that, but that gives you 4 actually.
Well, hey, there we go. Yeah.
PHP.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then
Thank you.
Is the one bird still on fire?
yeah.
No, that's just a quick immolation thing.
Oh, okay.
So there's still just the 2 birds left.
There are 5 total in the room.
Oh.
You could just, like, run around and start stabbing
So-
sacks of flour and stuff.
2 of them have been
Well,
significantly damaged.
would this work?
You already
But the
used
problem
healing
is-
word, so you can't use
So I
another
couldn't use another spell.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but you, like I said, you know, you have dark
But
vision,
I
so
could
you can
do-
see the guys that are out here. You couldn't do any of these other ones, but what you can do is you can stab it with your sword, stab it with your rapier. So you're gonna run up, stab it, add 4 to your d20 roll, and then it's gonna do a d8 plus 2 damage. That's just like super simple, easy to the point stab damage, but
Yeah.
it's
okay.
still like
Stabbing is fun.
yeah.
Stabbing
I was
is
gonna say
fun.
it still drains them of the energy that they're using to murder our faces in. So
Correct.
Yeah, I've already lost one of my daggers too. I'm not throwing well, so all right. So I rolled a 5.
so that's a +5 to hit, so it's a 10.
Not quite enough.
No,
Anything else?
I think that's it.
Marcellus?
Yeah, Marcellus is going to actually he's gonna run in. Is there like a bird somewhat close to me?
Yeah, there's one standing next to her where she's dropped unconscious. You have the one that you immolated. You have plenty of targets.
Okay.
There are 3 in easy reach and 2 at the back of the chamber.
Whichever one is closest to me that is the most damaged. Looks the most damaged.
Do you want the one that you
Yeah, the one I
burned?
lit on fire. Let's
Here
do
you go.
that.
Make it a grudge match.
Alright, so I'm gonna walk up to him and go, we're having bird pie for supper, something really cool that my character would totally say.
Blackbird pie.
Blackbird pie! Blackbird singing the dead of night smash, and I'm actually gonna like whip out of nowhere. I just like reach under my like majestically flowing like Technicolor coat and pull out. I just like pull this thing out. It's like long stick, long stick, long stick, long stick, and all of a sudden at the end there's just like this big ball, and it's my mace.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I have a mace, by the way.
Disco ball?
Yeah, it's a disco ball, exactly.
It's all shiny.
And I smash this thing, and I majestically miss really bad.
But it was majestic.
But it was majestic,
majestic, right.
yes.
Okay.
But yeah, so I miss.
Okay. So it returns your gracious offer of melee combat by swinging its short sword at you for an AC of 17.
Sure, yeah, okay, I guess I'll let that happen.
5 points of piercing damage.
Ooh, yummy, I'm at 1 again.
Agnes.
Alright, I'm going to.
So next turn, you can use your...
There's 5 enemies?
There are 5 of them.
No, they're crows, right?
They look just like what you see in the picture
Right.
here.
So how much do they like shiny things?
You can use your action to make a nature check to see what you recall about these creatures.
That would so you could use that.
Or
for
you know
one.
that would be your action,
Okay.
right? I mean, you guys have already damaged 2 of them pretty significantly.
Okay.
But you guys aren't affected.
Alright, so I'll go to the one that just attacks her. That's what I'll do. So
You do it.
I'm gonna swing my bow back around my thing. I'm gonna pull out my rapier. I'm gonna run up to the one that just attacked her.
Sure.
I'm with a flourish. I'm gonna try to nick it, like, across the throat.
Sure, go for
The
it.
entire session.
Until we take a long rest.
Okay.
But these cantrips here, you can use them anytime, as many times as you want. They're
Yes.
like levels
So I got
of spells. Think of
a-
those like that.
Okay.
Cool.
24.
Yeah,
Okay.
AC 24 is great.
And then
Good number. We'll take it.
It's a big number.
It is.
If that didn't hit, we'd be in.
And last I checked,
Trouble.
we're not using FAPO, so I guess
Yeah.
it works. Ooh.
Nice.
so 9 damage.
Okay, that one drops.
Yeah.
Yay!
Kablunk.
Yeah, you did. With your
All right.
face, with your dagger.
That's what I get for touching your. Well, not
Awesome.
being. He was rude. He was rude because he got out of the way of your attack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rude.
All set?
That's me. Yep.
Okay.
That's all I got.
So the one that's over here by Astrid's unconscious and bleeding form, it's got its short sword and it looks at Magpie. Hi, Magpie.
Will you clear?
It says in a scratchy voice, "No time to loot the place," and it swings and hits you
She needs the healing word
Yes.
pretty quickly.
for 4 points of piercing damage.
I take back what I said. Yeah, you should go heal Ulrich. I thought he had more spells than
Oh, he doesn't.
I am out.
He's out
Oh,
of juice.
Damn.
Yeah,
Welcome
so-
to first levels.
So yeah, definitely on your turn.
How much damage?
4. It was 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Otter.
I'm still by one, correct?
Yeah.
In melee range?
Yep. Not quite your turn yet.
Oh, okay.
2 of them fire at you
Sorry.
and miss.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, miss.
Now it's your turn.
Excellent.
It's because you grab the arrows out of midair, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna use
I
the
will run up to the one nearest me,
Like, literally where
and
it's
I will
like-
hit with my Morning
it's
Star.
not- Monks can
Got
do
it.
that. Yeah.
Miss with my Morning Star.
Oh, no good.
Single digits
This is
all
hero,
day.
hero team name. We
Single
miss everything we
digits.
roll.
Yes. And I'll yell, "Someone help Astrid!"
Okay.
The last one will take a hard look at Agnes. In a thin, nasally voice, tie up the pretty boy in the back room. and it swings at you. AC of 18.
Oh, yeah. I'll definitely do it.
4 whole points of piercing damage.
I'll take it.
That brings us up to top of the round. Astrid, that's save.
You did not yell, tie up the
Oh,
pretty
you get
boy.
healed. Never mind.
Marcellus, you did not yell, tie up the pretty boy in the back of the room, did you?
No,
He's
no.
not mocking you.
I might have said that before, but not in this context. Yeah. not here. Not for these birds anyway.
So I struggle back to my feet, and that one's right by me because he thought I was dead. So.
Nice.
Nope.
Not so much, eh?
No.
Okay.
Hold on.
We are heroic.
I only got an 8. 8.
You do a lot of flashy.
Oh, but you did hit.
19 hit.
It
damage.
it crumbles.
Yeah.
2 down.
Okay.
That is going to bring us to Magpie.
I'm gonna cast Healing Word again on your dying self. Poor thing.
4 is good.
Hey, yeah, it is. That's 7, I think, total.
Boom.
It is.
Sweet.
good
Now
for
I'm
you.
almost full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. No,
Okay.
no one's dying anymore. That's a good thing.
And then
Also, just so you guys know, just dying is not what we're trying
No.
to do. Yeah. Believe it or not.
Why didn't you tell us that at the start?
Sorry.
coming at that.
What's the point of the game then?
What do you add to this attack? Crying out loud. I rolled a 15.
What are you trying to do?
Attack with my rapier.
Yeah.
Rapier?
So
Dex
go
plus
to your
proficiency.
go to your thing with your
16.
Nice.
Yeah, you're good. It hits.
All right.
Woo! And a rapier is d8 of damage plus your dexterity, so that is the diamond one.
No, that one.
Yeah.
1. Fantastic.
Plus your dex bonus.
Plus 3.
Which is 3.
Okay. So 4 altogether.
4 rapier damage.
Yep.
Cool.
Piercing. Wait.
Yeah.
No, it's piercing.
Yep.
I'm-
Marcellus.
I'm being dumb. All right, I smash with the mace that I magically pulled out of nowhere. My disco ball, as we're calling it now. Disco stick, I think is what we're going to call it, just so I can sing that Lady Gaga song. And I'm going to smash. That will hit. That is a 15.
Yeah, that's good.
Awesome. That's
Are you
what I
hitting the
like.
same one that you just hit with the rapier?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's going to be 4 points of damage.
4 points. That's a good chunk off that one. Agnes.
Alright, is there one that's not been hit yet?
Yeah, there are 2.
2?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go to the one that's not been hit yet.
Those are on the back side of the chamber.
Am I near an enemy?
You could gang up on the one that they're currently working on.
Oh, they're gonna take care of that, no problem.
Okay.
Alright. I just mean, well, if I guess like attack of opportunity or anything, is that the thing?
I'm not worried about it.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna move to one in the back, but I have a great idea.
Hmm?
Great idea. I still have my lantern.
Yeah, you
I
do.
tool it on full force. So it's just
Okay.
streaming light into this creature's eyes.
Okay.
And then while it's looking at that, I stab it because it can't see me behind the light. I don't even need to roll, right?
I'll give you advantage on the attack.
Yeah.
It squawks. It's a very uncomfortable, very surprised noise.
So that's gonna be an 11.
So combat is not your forte.
Is there such thing as double advantage that we can use?
Not really. Okay, so you make a.
I can't see either. I blinded myself
Right,
through the whole
exactly.
process.
It's got some reflective bits in its armor, I guess.
I wasn't expecting it.
Right. It just reflects back off a belt buckle. It's yeah, we don't talk about it. That's going to bring us to the various Kenku, the one that has been damaged from multiple people. It will, surprisingly, attempt to wildly swing back at Magpie.
Okay.
AC of 15.
It's
It is.
12.
With the short sword, we are looking at 6 whole points of damage.
Below 0.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so that just drops you to 0, and you go unconscious and hit the ground. It lets out this big chirp, sort of victorious, sort of fearful. The 2 in the back of the room, the one that you were trying to blind and stab,
Yeah.
it throws its arms out, and just like it's trying to confuse and distract.
Okay.
And mechanically speaking, it's trying to escape. right?
Okay.
It's withdrawing from this, like it's because it's retreating. It's not going to.
It's because I'm so intimidating. I
Yes,
assume.
clearly
Yeah.
that is it. It is squawking in fear and attempting to run away. With all of that, let me take a look here. It runs out, and you kind of lose track of it behind another big stack of boxes. You hear a crash. It sounds like it ran into the wall. But you also hear the sound of breaking wood.
All right.
The other one that's back here also does the same thing, drops its short sword and runs in that same direction.
Breaks a DM screen.
It does.
Speak of breaking wood.
Yes. But it also runs off in the same direction. And yeah, that's going to leave you with...
You better run!
That's going to leave you with one combatant, and I'm pretty sure you guys are going to go ahead and polish that off. What do you want to do with it? Do you actually want to fight it and kill
No,
it? Do you
we
want to
wanna
knock
keep
it
it
unconscious?
alive.
Do you want to...
Keep it
Oh,
alive.
it's annoying though.
It's annoying,
It just
but
mimics
I want
us.
to talk to it.
All right, you guys want to talk to it.
Then
It's
you
gonna
can kill
repeat
it.
the stuff that you say.
well, then after it repeats what we say, you
He
can kill
mentioned
it.
that thing about the pretty boy in the other room.
Right.
Yeah, it did.
All right,
That's-
it just mocks our voices. It's like
are
a
you
well
still dying?
Oh,
Are you still
God
bleeding
damn
out
it.
on the ground?
Yeah.
You're unconscious.
Shush you.
All right, so
I'm-
we're kind of fast forwarding the last combat.
Well,
or-
there's one creature left. It's got, mechanically speaking, it's got 3 hit points left.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I applaud your
Medicine
confidence
check
in us, sir.
Yeah,
Don't
you see
share
how
it.
we've been rolling?
Yeah, but at this point, it's 4 on 1.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Okay. So,
The law of averages says you'll get that last couple of hit points in.
Can I try and stabilize Magpie with a
Make medicine check, yeah.
19.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
I was going to ask, because this is Magpie's first Adventurers League legal game, does she get the new player potion of healing?
Sure does.
Heck yeah!
Yes.
I reach into Magpie's pocket
So-
because I know it was right there and I dump it down
That
the
is
throat.
part of the DM quest stuff. It's a way to incentivize DMs to run a wider variety of games, including running games for new players. Because you are you're new to Adventurers League games, you start with a potion of healing.
Oh.
So you have that.
But now it's gone because it's in your throat.
Well, I mean, it's still.
Did you enjoy
so
that?
so roll your, you get to roll 2d4 plus 2.
Easy
Or
come, easy
plus,
go.
yeah, 2d4 plus 2. And then that's how many hit points you recover.
I think we tie up the
6,
Kenku.
8,
Let's move to the back room before they have a chance to move Fancy Boy on.
Peeking around the area where you heard that crash and the sound of the breaking wood, it looks like those two had actually escaped through the wall.
Oh.
Wow.
Are there
like-
like comical, like...
No, it's not quite like that. Where it's
pen.
more along the lines of it looks like there was a hidden door that was through here, just probably wedged shut. So you weren't able to notice it from the outside, but they were able to careen their way through the wall and run away.
Gotcha.
Nice.
So now
So you have this one left,
Is that the back wall?
the wall that would lead directly back out into the alley where you were.
Oh, all right.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's tie him up and move back to the other room and see if Fancy Boy's here, and then we can come back.
Can
and
we
question
say
him.
whatever
We got
hit
upstairs,
this
too.
Is it
Kenku the last, like knocked him unconscious kind of deal?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So I say like in the like literally like 3 seconds after combat concludes, Kenku's knocked out. I think we should all like do the smart thing and split the party and do a real quick run around this base floor and just make sure there's no other like escaping things or
Yeah.
things coming in, because I don't want to like get into like interrogation mode with this Kenku and have something come out and knock us on the back of the head kind of
I
deal.
agree. Didn't they
So-
say he was tie him up in the back room?
They said. He
Yep.
said
Now they
don't
used a
type
couple of different
free voice,
voices.
Yeah.
You had the thin nasally voice, you had the scratchy voice, you had Marcellus' voice come back at you. But you did hear tie up the pretty boy in the back room. You heard no time to loot the place. You heard the admonitions of the tiefling returned. Yeah, so they did have a couple of phrases.
Agnes, you're by the door.
Yes, I
Let's
am.
come with me and check out this back room. See if
Oh, yeah.
Fluent is here.
That sounds cool. I'll do that.
So just
Yep.
look through to the back
Sure.
room.
Yeah.
Not fully entering, looking
It's like his head appears around the door, and then my head appears
underneath.
it around the door.
So there is a there's a small room in the back here underneath the stairs. It's more of a storage closet, really. If you force that door open, who's doing the? Okay, so Otter, you're doing it. It's filled with discarded ropes, canvas tarpaulins, splintered wood from smashed barrels, and a very scared-looking, disheveled young nobleman.
Fitting the Floon description.
He is. This is not Floon. He is. You know.
I
that-
close the door.
So
Sorry, wrong one.
this noble,
I didn't mean
this
to
young
interrupt this.
nobleman is hiding underneath one of the tarps. You can hear his breathing, and you hear him muttering, "Go away, go away, go away, go away, go away."
We're here to rescue you. Or or someone like you.
Brings the tarp up over and kind of rolls it back over his head. Who are you? Who sent you?
Someone paid us to find a kidnapped nobleman, but it's not you. But you seem to be in distress.
Yeah. What gave it away?
The tarp.
This environment? Yes, the tarp. Yes, very much the tarp.
Very astute.
What are you doing here?
He says that he was abducted just the other night. His name is Rainier Neverember.
That's a cool last name. I'm gonna steal it.
Not my last name, no.
Come out. Come into the main area of the warehouse.
Okay. Yeah, he's terrified. He heard the commotion out there,
Right.
and
Were you kidnapped by? Was it Kenku?
yes,
Is that
those
what
are
they're called,
Kenku.
Kenkus?
Yep.
Were you kidnapped by Kenku's? Mr. Never Member?
Never remembered.
Never Embers?
Never been.
No.
Never remembered.
Never been.
Never remembered.
He was not kidnapped by Kenku. He says that he was kidnapped by the Zentarum. He says that the Zentarum think that my father embezzled a large amount of gold while he was the open lord of Waterdeep. My father, Lord Neverember, he's up north now, rebuilding another city. Clearly, that's not why you're here, though. They think that my father hid the gold dragon somewhere here in Waterdeep. They believe that they can find it by using an artifact called the Stone of Galore, which was apparently in the hands of the Xanathar Guild until recently. And then someone, I guess, stole it. The Zens thought that I had something to do with all this, that I know something, but I don't. My father and I we haven't spoken in years.
It's a lot of information.
He's back in the room with everybody, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really like the idea that he's still under this tarp and you're like interior.
Yeah, he's dragging the tarp with him like a security
Okay.
blanket.
Like a safety blanket?
Yeah.
Have you heard of other noblemen being kidnapped?
He says that there was another person with him when he was taken. When the Zentarum took him, they took a young man named Floon.
Oh.
Where's Floon?
He doesn't know.
Were you with Volo then?
They had just met with Volo. Yeah.
Volo's the one who sent us.
Yes.
Volo is a good man despite his reputation.
How much do you think your father would pay to have you back?
He says that he doesn't speak to his father, but
We're not
I don't know.
a random noble.
I'm not.
while we're
not-
estranged,
we
there's still
didn't-
some value in the name.
We didn't start the kidnapping. I'm
Are
just
you-
saying we
are
can
you-
We
continue
can
it.
finish.
Let me understand. Permit me to understand, please. Are you kidnapping me now?
No. No, we are not.
We could.
We're setting you free.
That's just a
I
possibility.
like
We're
that
setting
plan.
you free.
I like his plan better than your
Fly
plan.
free, little bird.
So-
With
Well, my
no
plan makes us rich,
necessary
guys.
reward.
All the things that they say your
You
dad
guys such
did.
a goody two shoes.
Yes.
They don't.
Yeah, but we could like get on
He has no idea.
the cahoots with him.
On the cahoots?
On the
I don't know what
cahoots.
getting on the cahoots what that means.
It's like his good side.
Yeah.
Like, there'd be like good like juju flowing between us, you know, like good vibes.
How many
think
Kenku?
so.
How did the Kenku become involved in this, and how'd you end up here?
This is as far as he can tell, it's likely a Zentarum hideout, and whoever the Kenku work for, they're clearly not Zentarum. They don't attack their own.
You know, on the note.
He
that you
points at
said,
the dead bodies
there was
up on the
something
other side of the
like
chamber. He
Kenku
says,
said
if
that
you
he
look,
could
they
make
all have
answers
the mark
for
of the
us that might
Zentarum.
help us get a little bit of money. I do recall one of our little bird friends before their early expiration date came. I do recall that one of them mentioned, or really quoted in their peculiar little manner, don't have time to loot the place.
Right.
Do you happen to know of which place they spoke of?
Probably here. He just gestures around. There's a whole bunch of boxes. There's the whole second floor. I don't even know what's up there.
Ah, man.
I walk up to the Ken-kun who's unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
And he's small, right? So you like pick him up and I'm
Yeah.
like, who do you work for?
Who does number 2? He responds in this like deep, gravelly, orcish voice. Xanathar sends its regards.
I have no response for that at the time.
Magpie. The Xanathar Guild, you know of them. You know people who claim to have worked for them. You know enough about the Xanathar Guild to have reasonable belief that the Xanathar is a beholder crime lord.
They very well might behind all this.
So this seems
Oh,
like
that-
Yeah.
gang on gang
I mean, I'm
crime,
gonna say
right?
exactly what he just said.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
that's the thing.
Or-
Xanathar.
Marcellus will go, oh, and as he does, his voice like awkwardly cracks as he's like, oh no, crime lords.
Yeah.
That's not the type of thing we want to be.
It seems like we're
involved in.
involved in two separate factions here.
Yeah. Well, I think that this conversation with our friend Never
Never
yeah, that guy,
Never
pretty boy, is probably hungry, unshowered.
Oh yeah, very much
Miserable.
so. He smells like pickled herring. He's covered in dirt and grime.
Let's check out the second floor though.
I was
before
gonna say, do we want to send him on his way? Do we want to escort him?
we should
If
escort
we
him.
send
but-
him on his way, he's just gonna take it by somebody else.
Right.
I mean, that's
We're
not our
still in
problem,
very
though.
dangerous territory.
Yeah,
here.
that's
Okay.
true.
So you want to like check the whole house out?
Just check the second floor and then move on
Okay.
together.
We
Together.
could have the. So I'm holding on to the Kenku.
Ask him
What's
what
his
the loot
name?
is.
What's your name?
He is sort of groggy. He just says, "Tie up the pretty boy in the back room," in that thin, nasally voice.
Okay, pretty boy.
That's just a GM avoiding the question because he doesn't have random Kenku names.
Kenku names are like noises,
Right.
so I
Now-
just think it's more like he
It's
can't
like a
do like.
dolphin
Now,
sound.
now that you've had a little bit of time out of combat, some things that you recall about Kenku. They don't have a language of their own.
Yeah.
They use mimicry. They can
Oh,
only
that's cool.
say things that they have previously heard.
Nice.
Can you take us to the Xanathar?
Follow the yellow signs in the sewers.
Ask it if it knows where the loot is.
Do you know where that loot is?
No time to loot the place. Just get into the boss.
Hit it.
I slap it across the face.
I just wanted to see if she'd keep doing what I told her to do.
Dance puppet.
Okay.
Okay.
Ask him if it knows where the treasure is again.
Oh, where's the treasure?
Xanathar sends its regards.
Ah, it's broken.
I'll put him down.
Okay.
We're gonna take the time to loot the rooms.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah.
I start pouring through the boxes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Search the
Well,
bodies.
they're looting everything. I want to get uncomfortably close to this Kenku.
Mm.
And I want to get uncomfortably close to Never
the same
Ember.
time.
At the same time, yes.
Just
so,
like drag them
so
together.
if I have to move them together, I will. But I basically want to look at both of them, and I would like them both to make me wisdom saving throws of a DC 13.
Okay.
Because we're going to do some warlock stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, kiss! That's what I command. Sorry, guys. This is my fanfic now.
One of them makes it, one does not.
Okay. Well, I'm going to look at both of them, and in my most absolutely charming voice possible, I will tell them that it would really do me a hella big favor if they would just tell me anything else that they know and stop beating around the bush of what happened here.
They cycle through those same lines, occasionally mixing in mortal souls, death and destruction, and now if you all come out. Those last three in your voice.
Okay. I kill the Kenku. No, I don't kill the Kenku. I angrily throw the Kenku to you and say, do with it as you will.
Okay.
And at this point, I do not care what happens to this damn bird. But to Never
Just leave him
Boy,
tied up.
All right. I tie him up.
yeah, Never Boy, I think we just pop him in a corner and then you guys
I
want to
feel
split
weird
up.
killing him in cold blood, but if we tie him up, will he still die?
He
Well,
will.
so
The Zentrum will get
Of
him.
like a slow, torturous death.
so
what's
here's
worse,
here's
yeah.
my thing.
Yeah.
When this is Marcellus's thing is he doesn't want to break the rules, and we've already killed a couple Kenkus. And last
But they're
Marcellus read,
monsters.
they're technically
It's not a crime against the Lord.
It's technically not a monster. Technically, they are like humanoids, like
Let's.
intelligent creatures.
They are, yeah.
well,
They are.
They're
They're,
civilized
they're a
race.
people
Alright,
for the
great.
sake of people.
And
so
have no weapons. Let's untie
So-
him and let him go.
As
could
we're
definitely
debating what we're
not
going to do with our
let it go.
Kenku, we had who was like searching through boxes and stuff.
I was gonna say,
You
do you
too.
guys want to
Yeah.
search? while we're-
So yeah, you've got a couple of rooms upstairs. You have the boxes. You have the other bodies of the Zentarum agents. You do find this on the Zentarum.
what is it?
What is it?
They all have that mark, but one of them also has a pin. The diving dragon.
Oh, down.
Yo,
Oh, that is cool.
that is.
So it is actually the mark of the Zentarum.
Yeah,
I know this symbol.
the Zent pin.
That's the golden dragon, right?
That's not the gold dragon.
No, that's the symbol of the Zentarum.
That's the
Oh,
Zentarum
okay.
faction symbol.
No, this is the gold dragon. This is what the gold
Right,
dragons
right,
look
yeah.
like. Yeah.
Excellent.
So you have that. There's a room hidden behind a false panel, a very, very small room where looks like some stolen paintings have been hidden away. There's a crate with some silver trade bars. We familiar with what trade bars are?
Those things that they always show on
Basically
TV that none of us are ever going to see in our own lives, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's basically a big bar of silver with like the sigil of Waterdeep stamped on top.
Nice.
So these are like silver bars?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Do you guys know how much this is worth? How many bars are we talking?
There's like 4 of them back there.
Yeah.
That's 4 more silver bars than we had. That's a
Plus
lot.
the paintings.
Plus the, well,
Plus the paintings.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Upstairs, there are a couple of ramshackle, rundown offices. There are some rats that when you open the door, the rats just scattered. Went burrowing into places best left undescribed. Above each office door is a steel alarm bell. After you set the first one off, you open the second door slowly so it doesn't set that alarm off. One of the desks contains a delicately folded, almost origami-looking paper bird.
I'll take
I'd
it.
fold that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is it? I didn't fold it.
no,
I'm
we're
I don't unfold it.
we're doing stuff with the Kinku. They found it. They're upstairs looking for stuff.
I'm not in the room.
Yeah, we're still. I put the
So-
note away and remember I'm not around.
So you 3 are dealing with Kenku.
Yeah, we're still.
They're
You 2,
While we're
you
not
have
the
like
Kenku, this is
you
what
found
it
the
is.
room with the paintings and the silver
Well, so my
bars.
thing
You
is,
have
if
that
we let
paper
him go,
bird.
he's just gonna report back to whoever he's working for.
And then, as you are all figuring out what you're doing with your friend the Kenku, and all of this additional loot, the
Putting him in a crate.
area by the front door and the area where that secret door was that led back out into the alley, City Watch members come pouring in.
Yeah.
There's 6 from each one. You hear one of them call out that this is City Watch Captain Hesta Steggett, and you are all under arrest.
I point at the bird and go, "It was him."
And that is actually where we are going to break out for this session.
Yay! We're all fugitives!
I died and got arrested. It's fantastic.
So, I know we did have a little bit of technical issue getting into this. However, we have met previously to go over some of our story. I am rolling that time into all of this. You're all getting your advancement and treasure checkpoints and all that stuff. So you are getting your 4 advancement. You're getting your 4 treasure checkpoints. Trisha, the reason we have the checkpoints and all that is that actually it's a lot easier to use than tracking. Like, you earned 74 experience and 13 gold and 5 silver. The 4 points is enough to bounce you to level 2. So you'll be able to basically start your next session at level 2. Generally, you do need to have a long rest and extended rest to benefit from all that. Because of the way organized play works, you can do your level up in between sessions. That's per DM discretion. As far as I'm concerned, you guys have earned it. You've been very much on point, in character. I love it. There may be a time in the future where that isn't going to hold true. We'll cross that bridge if and when we need to. But I think this is a good place for us to kind of break out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, level up.
All right, so we've encountered a whole bunch of stuff. We've seen some things out of the box, right? We have the Zentarum pin. We've seen the big canvas map. We're learning a bit about the city. You've learned a bit about the yawning portal, the way the dock wards are set up. You found one of the 2 nobles, not the noble you were looking for, but what did the Kenku tell you when you asked?
Oh, he's with the other gang. It's probably in that gang's headquarters.
Could be.
Said follow the yellow
Right.
signs in the sewers.
Yeah,
Right.
follow the yellow signs of the
So
sewers.
you have additional story things going forward. You now have the City Watch staring you down as you have an armload of Waterdeep silver bars, an armload of stolen paintings, a prisoner, and a dozen dead bodies.
Prisoners are get out of jail. That's what I'm
I'm glad we
counting on.
didn't kill him.
Yes. So we have a whole lot of stuff that will bridge us into our next episode. And our next episode, for everybody who is playing along at home or watching along, hey, you do you. We are going to be 9 a.m. Pacific time. I am not anticipating any additional audio concerns. Thank you for bearing with us while we got set up. But we are going to have a full allotment next week, Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific, right here on Twitch.
Yay!
Woo!
Team Hero Name!
Team Hero
Team Hero
X.
Name
Generic hero
X,
name.
yeah.